helium? Chat, is that any better? Also, let me double check and make sure we're live or we're supposed to be live.
Oh, I just heard the fucking robot. That's pretty bad.
Oh my god!
That's so funny.
Bro, your sound, your crying is gonna sound like a fucking robot, bro. On stream.
I hope that sounds really cool. Wait, hold on. Let me see if I can do some auto-tune. Let me buy you a train. Guys, does that sound like auto-tune on your end?
No.
This is the auto-tune stream. Robot VTuber now. I don't know what to do.
Maybe maybe you should plug in your Scarlet thing.
No, you just go quiet when it peaks. Venom is malfunctioning. Oh, robot's taking over. Is it still robotic? Or are you guys just trolling me? Don't keep.
No, it's robotic.
It's still robotic.
Yeah, it's really bad.
Okay. Hey guys, we're just gonna sit here while I just don't know what to do. Let me message in my Discord and see if anybody's around who can help me figure it out. Hold up.
You know you're screen sharing your Discord on.
Oh, Venom. Holy shit, bro. Wait, what the hell? Are you good?
Jeez. Oh my god. Okay. It's a good thing I didn't have any compromising DMs though. I don't have any compromising DMs now because I'm safe so. So I'm glad that came in and saved the fucking day. It's really robotic in OBS.
You're streaming your. You're streaming your fucking Twitch.
What is going on, bro?
Disorganized as hell. Oh my god. Oh my god. There's got water in their circuits. Yeah, I think I do. I think I do, bro. It's not a robot. It's a robot. Oh lord. I don't know. We're trying to figure. Okay, I'm messaging Fern and seeing if Fern knows what to do. Oh my god.
I'm crying.
Okay, chat, so I'm gonna give this 5 more minutes, and if it doesn't fix itself, I'm not gonna do this stream today, okay, chat? I'm really sorry, but I don't know what else to do. I'm really in fucking tears. I'm streaming my fucking message.
Wait, what did they see?
Let me change the chatting train. No, that will solve a lot of problems here, because I keep forgetting that I'm streaming for some reason. Okay, guys, we're safe now. Oh my god. Oh, actual tears. Bumblebee? Optimus Prime? I don't know any quotes from Transformers to play into this bit. You sound like you're scheming against Megatron. When this became with Transformers. Starscream voice. I don't know what Starscream is. I'm assuming Starscream screams? I don't have the slightest clue. Okay, you know what? Why don't I Google it? Why don't I be a little self-sufficient real quick here? Autobots roll out. Have clickers replaced Venom already? Guys! Okay, stream audio robotic. What do I do? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna play my Good job! Alright, guys. Let's see. I typed all of that into the search bar. Let me take the rest of that out. Thank you, Zenta, for the bit. I wish this was a bit. I wish this was a bit. The best bits are accidental, aren't they? Okay. Let me see what Reddit says. Okay, so if I use Streamlabs, it would fix. But I don't know if I can do all this. I would have to set everything up on Streamlabs. It looks like you're monitoring your audio back to the... What? Removing incorrect settings for noise gates. Noise suppression, etc. Wait, hold up. Wait, what? Okay, chat, did it get better? Chat, let me know. I turned off all the settings. Okay, that's so cool. I love that. No, I haven't. I'm listening to myself laughing, and it sounded like a dog dying. Wait, oh, it's no, I don't have it set on voice mod. Why are you trying to stream right now? You can't hear Doobie or Lush? Okay. Let's.
Wait, is it the APO thing? Try turning it off. Try turning on the off the power button.
I wonder if it is this.
Cause did you play with the fucking bitch or something? Cause I think I sound fine. It's just you. I think.
Yeah, it is just you.
Okay. Did it fix?
I think it's the APO.
The APO? Did it fix?
It's got to be the APO.
Did it fix?
I think.
Did it fix? Wait, hold on. It was that thing you had me install. But we're loud. Okay. I'm sorry.
So hey, Doobie.
Let me try to.
Hey, what's up? I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm
good
actually in
too.
tears.
Slay.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. How was last stream? I couldn't make it. I'm so sorry, bro. I was busy.
The last your lunch? It was pretty good. It was really dog. It went from like 0 to 1,000.
It was pretty dark.
Oh, apparently we're really loud.
Oh, okay. Let me turn shit down a little bit. I also probably have you both on 200.
Also, I think
No, don't turn your sound down. I'm turning you down. You can't hear me in the call.
Yeah.
Venom?
We can't hear you on Discord.
Okay, alright, here I am.
There you go.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Why do I have so many viewers today? Okay. Are we all better now? Is the volume still too loud? Also, Lush, turn yours back up because I can just turn it down on my end. I have you on 200. I had you on 200. Sorry, guys. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I literally just couldn't get enough of these voices in my ear, guys. Sorry. Okay.
I can turn my mic down on my end too if I'm still loud.
Let's leave it there for a second and let's. Oh, we're doing a hype. We're really doing a hype train now, aren't we?
Somebody
Wait,
really
gifted
likes me.
subs?
Xander gifted 5 subscriptions.
Yeah, it's a deal that
Valorant-
Valorant
Hey,
is
Valorant
doing.
gifted,
with,
by the way.
Wait, to my channel or to in
No.
general?
If you gift 5 or 10 subs, Valorant will add a sub.
Oh wow!
So,
Oh
yeah.
How
wow!
does that
Wait,
even
so
work?
that's.
So yeah,
thank you so
shout out
much.
Valorant.
Thank you so much for
W
the gifted
Zenta.
subs and Zenta. Thank you. I have to bark 5 times now, guys. I think actually because I bark for bits too. So wait. How much is 20,000 bits?
Just bark
How
like 20
much
times.
is 20,000? Wait, 20,000? 2,000? My brain is actually short-circuiting. Okay, so 25 barks, chat. Thank you so much. When my stream scuff, people leave, but y'all getting a hype train while scuffed? I think they're just trying to fluster me. I think chat is trying to fluster me. Thank you for giving us up to Revenant, anonymous gifter. All right, 20 barks. Thank you, chat, for sticking with me through these hard times. And thanks to Zenta and everything going on here, we're going to have 25 barks. All right? 25? I just realized how many that is. Fuck.
You got it.
Okay, I was barking at Cece the other day, actually. I just want to see how she would react. So let me try that.
Oh.
Okay, 10 more. Wait, 15 more. Should have barked with the robot voice. Let me see if I can, actually. Wait, hold up. Wait, just fucking stop. No. Yeah, sure. Whatever. Just fucking app, dude. Okay, let me turn that back on and turn all this back on. And we'll bark 10 more times. Okay. Okay.
You sound like a record scratching.
5 more barks, and this is normal. I'm laughing so hard it hurts. Okay, 25 barks, chat. That's how we're starting the stream.
Were you
Thanks
barking
for
with
the
that
follow.
robot?
Alaska_VT has
Is
joined.
it still
the Legion.
robotic? Did I turn the welcome in Alaska VT? Is the doll? Is the sorry? I was reading chat at the same time. Is the robot voice done? Because I turned that back off. More people came. Let me see. I turned that back. Okay, yeah. We're good. We're good. Lovely, lovely. Okay, chat. Now we're going to do the part where we actually do the thing that was scheduled today.
Nice.
Oh my god, I feel like I'm about to cough up blood.
Oh my god. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I think I just need to hydrate.
Hold on, wait. I can redeem one of those for you.
Thank you.
Oh,
Thank
wait.
you.
Here it is. Yeah, here you go. Using my
Thank
3,000
you.
venom
Everybody
points.
hydrate. Come on, guys. Let's hydrate together. Let's clink our little glasses together. Wait,
Yeah.
I tried to make a clink noise, but it's a plastic cup.
Ew, I'm drinking from a plastic bottle.
Oh, hold on, wait. Let me show you what I'm hydrating with. Hold on.
Ah, another hydrate. Thank you. Oh, we really want to wait. So there's 5. There's like 4 hydrate redeems. Okay, I'll take 4 sips of water. All right, chat. Did I do a good job? Everybody in chat, right? Good boy.
Real? Real?
All right, chat. Let's actually do the thing that we said we were gonna do, which is play this game, which is gonna be a lot more relaxing. I want to hear those gulps, Ben. Did you guys not hear it? Did it get like noise suppressed out?
Probably.
I got 6k points because I was saving for jump scare. Now I just got hella points. I'm never bringing that jump scare back. I'm scared now. Jesus, 7 has 6k points. 7 can jump scare me 6 times in a stream. Speaking of jump scares, tomorrow we're doing Resident Evil again. I was gonna do No, I'm Not a Human, but Chi-Chi told me no, I need to finish Resident Evil 7. And Chi-Chi was the one who bought No, I'm Not a Human, so we're gonna finish Resident Evil 7 first. Oh, also next week, I'm gonna start a new collab with Eggy. We rated Eggy once. Eggy is a really cool jackalope sleepy VTuber who I'm going to be playing Revelations 2 with on Sundays. So then Resident Evil is going to move to Friday, something like that. I don't remember, but I'm going to start playing Revelations 2 with Eggy, and that's going to be a stream thing happening. Thank you so much for the hype train. Jeez Louise, guys, you're actually so funny for that. You're so fucking funny for doing a hype train in the middle of all that. All right. Now let's play the game. Let me load the save properly. And let me get all this hype train stuff out of the way. Okay, I can't see my chat. Are you gonna play the new Silent Hill game? I'm thinking about it. I don't have it currently, and I feel like I'm already in the middle of some games, but I do want to play it eventually. It is trending right now, so it'd be best for me to play it now, but why do you say streaming the same times as me, huh? I mean, sorry. I apologize. Well, hurry up. The fuck? Oh, okay. Wow. Let me lock in now. Guys, chat, stop distracting me. You keep distracting me. I'm trying to focus. It was late at night, the moon around and full, when Henny ventured into the woods. Johan and Hyde Marie in tow. Do you guys like how I locked in instantly?
Yeah, peak.
Wow, so good.
Thank you. Lush, can you turn up a little bit? You sound kind of quiet on my end.
Really?
Yeah. Did you turn your mic down when everything was going on?
No, it's the normal rate.
Oh,
Is it
maybe
better?
maybe I need to turn you up again.
Is this better?
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't know. I think I turned you up to 200.
Okay, I turned you up
Is
a
my
little
mic
bit.
not really quiet?
Okay, it's better now. I turned you up to 125 on my end.
Okay.
The woods were every bit as eerie and inhospitable as Henny had remembered from
Thanks
her
for the
wanderings
follow.
weeks prior.
Mercurius_VA has joined the Legion.
Thank you for the follow Mercurius VA. It is a very chaotic stream today, just so you know. Well, it was. Hopefully now it's going to become relaxing. The boughs of trees were curled like claws, as though meaning to grab her, and the uneven floor was strewn with loose leaves, twisted roots, and creeping fog. It was a cold, windy night, and the breeze which ran through the boughs of the skeletal trees seemed almost to sob. The breeze nipped at Henny's fingers and at the hem of her sensible black mate's dress, so she shivered. Henny knew where Magdalena's home was, more or less, yet she had been in such a state as she ran away from it. She felt disoriented. The forest was so full of tall, skinny trees, it was hard for her to get her bearings. She hoped only that she was right in her recollections, and her footsteps were leading her closer to Micah's side, rather than further. Please, Micah, Henny prayed silently, her soles depressing the twigs and the leaves beneath her. Be safe, that's all I ask. Oh.
Am I supposed to do it?
You don't have to.
I could do it.
All right, Hyde Marie is
try?
this very short, tiny, girly vampire.
Yeah, I got this. Okay. Well, isn't this a beautiful night?
you little subby bitch.
Not
Sorry, somebody gives you the
Kenny, I have
sub turn.
subbed for 2 months.
Thank you, Not Kenny, for renewing your subscription. Lush is still really quiet. Okay, let me turn Lush up a little bit more on my end. All right, Lush, can you speak again?
Hi.
Say hi, chat. I love chat.
Hi, chat. I love chat.
Let's try that. All right. Oh, unless you're still gonna be the priest, right?
Yeah.
Hyde Marie spoke in casual tones that belied the seriousness of their situation. As they walked, she, for her part, seemed quite at ease, though perhaps this was because, as a vampire, she was accustomed to the stillness of the night. They're all saying, I love you too, Lush. Aw. Certainly, she would have preferred it over the heat and the light of the day.
The moon is so lovely, yet lethal. Lethal?
All right, I guess
Oh,
you have to
shit.
talk to yourself.
No, I got it. I'm gonna differentiate their
Okay, you want the
voices.
challenge?
Yeah, I got it.
All right.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna make Hyde Marie American. Yeah. to make it easier to-
Interesting,
to-
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
But of course, werewolves aren't the only beings who undergo significant changes during the full moon. It also imbues us vampires with strength.
Hyde Marie flexed her fingers, extending them as a pianist might before setting them down to play a symphony.
For a being who has been dead for so many centuries, I feel quite alive. I'm positively tingling with excitement.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Hold on. I didn't mean to say that.
You know? Yeah.
It's
My
been
bad.
a
It was just too
long-
good. It was just too good.
You're real, you're real.
It's been a long, long while since I've had a job to do.
Had Marie's lips split into a grin, wide enough to reveal her incisors. They glistened at the front of her mouth, sharper and more deadly than needles.
I hope it doesn't disappoint. I'll be upset if this Magdalena doesn't put up a fight.
No, Hyde Mary. We didn't come out here to have fun. Bro Enrique, fuck me. Bro Enrique wishes for us. Oh my fucking Bro Enrique wishes for our help. We must do all we can to aid her. This is serious. A woman's life may be on the line.
Chat, is Lush at a good volume? Just triple, double, quadruple checking.
Well, of course I know that. I'm aware that this will be a delicate operation. But I think that makes this even more entertaining.
Lush could be. Chat says they could be turned up louder.
Could stand to
Oh my
be
God,
loud.
should I turn
Okay, so now
myself
you're gonna
out?
have to. Now you're gonna have to turn up on your end because I have you on 200.
What the fuck is going on? It's the usual volume.
I think you just kind of because right now you sound like a normal volume to me, but I think maybe when you read your lines, you're reading them a little bit quiet or farther from the mic.
Or did you? Oh.
Is it better?
Chat, is that better? Let's get some feedback. Hey. Let's
Give me
get
a
some
second.
feedback. Hey. Oh, thank you, Han Pino, for the sub. Continue their sub from Prime Gift to Tier 1.
Is this
Oh,
better?
wow. Welcome on in, Han Pino. Had to put some bass in that damn. You good? Okay. You good. Okay, great. Lovely. All right.
I do so love being a brave, noble hero. Though I must give you a few words of advice, Fraulein. There's a chance that your beloved mistress may have already departed from the world of mortals. Oh.
Henny stiffened at this, and Johan's disapproving frown deepened.
Hyde Mary, please. Be more considerate.
By that you mean ply her with false reassurances?
No, I just...
Such sweet lies might come easily to you, Johan, but they don't sit right with me. I might be a depraved monster, but I don't like to deceive people.
Hi, Fern. Welcome on in. Also, I kind of figured out the mic thing. But yeah, I'll talk to you as well later. Welcome on in, Fern.
I don't deceive people. I spread the word of God.
And you truly believe in the eventual reckoning and salvation in heaven?
Yes, of course I do. You know I do. I wouldn't preach of such matters if I didn't.
Hyde-Marie pressed her lips together before eventually capitulating. Sorry, you guys are going to hear every movement of my chair because of different audio interface.
Yes, I suppose you're right. You've always been an awful goody two-shoes. You're not a liar either, Johan. But you are misguided in your optimism. I know you wish to think on the most positive potential outcome, but life often does not work out as we might want.
Hyde-Marie looked again to Henny, one arm resting on her hip.
Powerful though I am, I'm not privy to everything that happens in Augsburg's vicinity. I cannot say for certain that your mistress will be unscathed. Though I'm certain I'll be able to dispatch with this Magdalena in due course. It may be too late for your mistress. Please come to terms with that. Please come to terms with that during our travels. It'll save you a lot of unnecessary grief later.
Well, I suppose you have no ill intentions by saying that.
Johan clicked his tongue while Hyde Marie tittered.
But you don't need to sound so half gleeful while phrasing your concern. It makes one doubt how genuine you're being.
You think I'm not being genuine?
You really are. You're a menace.
Oh, woe is me!
Hyde Marie staggered back dramatically, one hand pressed to her breast, as though she had been mortally wounded. Had Henny not been so tense, perhaps she would have smiled at Hyde Marie's antics. As it was, however, she found herself incapable of seeing the funny side in the young girl's capering. The young girl... Is this a woman or a girl? Can we make up our mind? Her thoughts were too full of Micah to pay the mischievous Hyde Marie much heed. She knew Hyde Marie had a point. Her Micah could very well be dead. But Henny did not wish to come to terms with such a possibility. If Micah was dead... Oh... If Micah was dead...
Fro Henrique.
It was Johan who spoke next. After the pause rent by Hyde Marie's warning, his voice softer and gentler than the moonlight.
I know Hyde Marie speaks, how do you pronounce that? Callously?
Mm-hmm.
I know Hyde Marie speaks callously, but she does have a point. There is no guarantee we'll be able to save your mistress. But if her heart still beats still... Fuck. But if her heart beats still, then Hyde Marie and I will do all in our power to save her. You can rest assured on that score. Please. Place your faith in us. I would never seek to betray your trust. Not when you went to the effort of seeking us out as you did.
Yes, Johan is right. If there's a damsel to recover, she shall, of course, be rescued. And if she's a corpse, well, we'll simply have to pay her our respects. Either way, you'll get the closure you want. By the time this night is up, we will know exactly what has happened to your beloved Micah. Thank you. I don't know how Micah has been faring, or what state she may be in when we find her. But I suppose I'll find out soon enough, before the night comes to a close. Everything will be sorted then, one way or another, for better or for worse. Yes, that's a good way of looking at it. It's best not to get your hopes up too much.
Hyde Marie giggled to herself anew, as a young girl might, while Henny continued to traipse through the woods. She had been walking for almost an hour now, and could feel the chill air growing colder as it settled about her shoulders like a shroud. Henny shivered, winding her arms about herself, and thought about Micah. If Micah was alive, she supposed she would be asleep right now. Perhaps in the very same cell she and Henny once played poker in. Henny hoped Magdalena had been giving Micah enough to eat, but she doubted it. Magdalena had not, for all her pretensions, been the most hospitable of hosts. Henny could only pray, with each footstep she took, that Micah had been able to endure all her suffering. She was a strong person, far stronger than her fair skin and delicate features suggested. Henny could still remember how, when they had been children, Micah had confessed to her mother that it had been she who had first hit upon the bright idea to enter the family's mausoleum, she who should be punished, rather than Henny. Micah had always come to Henny's defense, heedless of what might happen to her. Henny had always admired Micah for her sense of justice. She thought her good, honest, and unwavering. Now Henny meant to display similar qualities for Micah's sake. Henny continued to walk on, the top of her head illuminated by milky moonlight. Foliage rustled about her, and overhead an owl hooted. The fog swirled about her ankles. It was so thick, Henny could hardly see where she was going. Henny's eyes were not golden like Hyde-Marie's, but those of an ordinary human, and they were unaccustomed to the gloom. Henny stumbled several times while walking, and Johann had to support her. Normally, Henny would have thanked Johann for his consideration, but she was so focused upon her task that she hadn't had the words to spare for him. Every beat of her heart seemed to call out Micah's name. Her every thought was laced with her dear friend and of her fate. Henny knew it was a possibility that she might be too late, but she soon discarded it. Micah would be fine. She had to be fine. Henny still had hope. It swelled within her, growing stronger and stronger the closer she drew to Magdalena's home. Henny kept going, placing one foot after the other in a grim march until...
Ah, yes. We must be on the right track. I can smell it now. Smell what? Death.
Hyde-Marie's answer was a simple one, yet it made Henny shudder all the same.
Vampires often cloak their abodes in magic, but these parlor tricks only work on mundane creatures such as humans. To fellow vampires like myself, such enchantments are merely child's play. Try though we might, we vampires cannot hide from one another. The stench of death is much too strong. The soil beneath our feet is soaked with blood. When I strain my ears, I can hear the screams of her victims in the air. We must be very, very close indeed.
Hyde-Marie smiled, her incisors razor sharp in the gloom which settled about her.
Now, I must prepare myself for coming face to face with this young vampire. I would hate to look a mess.
Okay, we're finally on the fourth act, chat. Wow. So this is the final act, I think. It took Micah almost a full hour before she was finally able to drift off that night, lulled into the world of slumber by stirring the breeze beyond her bedroom window. Hydrate redeem. Thank you, Minnie Mooney. In her dreams, Micah saw herself and Magdalena as she wished they were, smiling, arms linked, like a pair of ordinary women. In this dream, Micah was not the sole daughter of a once noble von Essens, and Magdalena was not a vampire. They were both young ladies from moderately well-to-do families, both young and fresh-faced, with no pressures forcing them to wed. In this dream, Micah and Magdalena were of like age, equal to it formed a fast friendship. Friendship? Bitch, y'all kissed. Sorry. Together, they would promenade about their family's estates, play cards, and help one another with their hair. They flipped through fashion magazines, offered helpful critique upon one another's clothes, and often during quiet moments they would sit together and devour books like sweetmeats. They would read plays and poems and prose, and once they had finished with their tomes, they would talk about them to one another excitedly. Nobody condemned their friendship, and nobody sought to come between the pair of them. Henny gladly gave Micah and Magdalena her blessing, as did their parents. Micah's mother, in her dream, was not the exacting Lady von Essen, but another woman altogether, a woman kinder and more accepting, who did not smack books from Micah's hands, nor revile her for being too willful. Micah even dared, in the dream, to pursue her fictional Magdalena a relationship deeper than that of close friends. Right. There were covetous glances and brushing fingers out in public, arms linked, with heads dipped just a little too close while they shared secrets. In private, meanwhile, between their readings of books and their girlish chatter, they came even closer together until... But Micah knew these dreams would never come to pass. She was tormenting herself by indulging in a fantasy which could not be realized. But still, she continued to dream. She did not want to give her fantasies up. How could she? Micah had been lonely for most of her life, and she was tired of denying her heart what it wanted. She was smoldering. Micah turned beneath her covers, lost amongst her wonderful, impossible, painful dreams when the sound of a scream awoke her. It was distant, but loud enough to penetrate her bedroom door. Micah sat up with a start, her mind jumbled. One hand flew to her chest, fingers splayed, beneath which her heart beat wildly, caught between sleep and waking. The screaming continued, high and hopeless. It was hard to gauge who owned the voice, but Micah thought it belonged to a woman. Was it Magdalena? Had she been caught off guard, her home-laid waste? Micah knew not what kind of creature could make a vampire scream, but it must have been a frightening one. A trembling Micah rose from her bed, then dashed barefoot to her bedroom door. She took the handle between her fingers and tried it, but she was soon scuppered. The door, as always, was locked. Micah took a step back, fingers clenched at her front, deliberating. How was she to escape? Brute force was an option, she supposed. Micah was not very strong herself, but Magdalena's home was ancient. Everything was crumbling. The lock must have some give in it, enough to be sprung, perhaps, by her shoulder if she applied enough force. Maybe she could try to jimmy the lock with a more elegant method, perhaps a hairpin. Micah had several, which she kept in a ceramic tray by her bedside, which she used to style her hair. Micah had never tried to pry open a door with such an inelegant method before. When she had broken into the family's mausoleum all those years ago, she had simply stolen a set of keys. It seemed imperative to try, however. If Magdalena was being hurt, then Micah wanted to protect her. Micah knew she could not simply stand idle and do nothing. Micah pattered to her bedside and lit the candle which sat there with trembling hands. Then she selected a hairpin from the dish by her bedside for the job. Clutching it tight in her hand, she started back for the door. Micah paused by the door, making to slide the slender pin into the lock. But her attempts at escape proved to be unnecessary. The door opened outwards, creaking as it did, before she had a chance to make use of the hairpin. There was somebody standing in the entrance of Micah's bedchamber, somebody that knew Micah well, despite the darkness which swirled in the hallway. It was Henny. So cute!
Oh my god! No way.
Her big eyes. Oh my god, she's so cute.
I love. Oh.
Micah, thank goodness. I'm so glad to see you're alright.
Henny threw herself forward before Micah had a chance to speak, and tightly wound her arms around her mistress's waist. The hairpin Micah had grasped now fell from her hand, her fingers falling slack. It hit the threadbare carpet, and there it lay, illuminated by spots of moonlight which crept in through the worn curtains drawn about the windows. The moonlight hit Henny's face too, or at least half of it, and Micah could see tears beating upon her lashes. Micah didn't think of them as tears of sadness, however. They looked, instead, to be born of relief. It had been almost a month since Micah had seen Henny last. Now they had been finally reunited. It was all so sudden and so very unexpected. It still did not feel real. Micah wondered whether this was not a continuation of her dream, now taking on a different bent, but that seemed unlikely. Henny's body was soft, as Micah remembered, but it was unyielding as it pressed against her, her grip too tight to be made of fancy. Micah had read a good number of books in her time, but her imagination was hardly good enough to conjure up a scene this vivid. It was really Henny in the flesh, come to rescue her, just as she promised. Henny? Oh, Henny. Micah began to sob herself, from both surprise and relief. She returned Henny's embrace, resting her head upon her shoulder, and for a while neither woman spoke. They only stood there, in the entrance of Micah's bedroom, and sobbed, clinging tight as though their lives depended on it. Yes, Cece? The screams, however, did not abate, and a fresh volley of piercing cries made Micah's body stiffen. Concerned, she drew back, and looking at Henny, said, "What are you doing here? How did you get here? Did you do something to Lena?"
There's no time to explain right now. First, we need to escape.
Escape? But where?
Outside! Hurry, Mika, before she catches us.
She? Micah's brow furrowed. Are you talking about Lena?
I mean that monster, yes! Hyde Marie is holding her back, but I don't want to hang around while they settle matters. I've spent more than enough time around monsters to last me a lifetime, and I bet you have too. Oh, it was horrible, Micah, the things I've seen tonight trying to save you. But I don't want to dwell on it. It does not matter. Come on, let's go.
But I'm not dressed. I can't wander around the woods in my nightgown, not barefoot. I need some shoes at least.
It can wait, please. Micah, let's hurry. You need to run.
But... Micah tried to protest, but Henny refused to listen. She squeezed Micah's hand in her own and turned, pulling her through the hallway and away from her bedchamber. Away from her prison cell. Away from her life with Magdalena. Micah called after Henny, bidding her to stop, but Henny did not listen. She continued, instead, to run, her soul slapping against the stones. Micah tried to twist her arm free from her friends, but she hadn't the power for it. Magdalena had taken too much of her blood that night, and it had left her weak, anemic, as had the kiss, then the caresses, which had followed afterwards. Micah had always been thinner than Henny, her coloring more delicate, but in that moment, Henny's strength seemed indomitable. This must have been the measure, Micah supposed, of how greatly Henny cared for her, but, oh... Well, Micah was glad to see Henny. She did not wish to leave Magdalena's side. Not like this. If she was to leave, she wanted to at least speak to her once more. To tell her what had happened. Micah tried to dig her feet against the cold floor, but it was to little avail. Henny responded only by asserting more pressure upon her hand. She was gripping Micah's fingers hard enough to hurt, hard enough Micah feared that she might leave bruises.
We need to keep going. We're almost there, just a little further.
Henny tried to console Micah, but her comforting voice fell upon deaf ears. Micah's attention had been taken, and not by Henny's rescue attempt, nor her own concern for Magdalena, but by a door thrown ajar a few paces away. Micah had not been inside any rooms in Magdalena's home save her own, so she could not help but cast a curious glance at its interior. The room was dark, the curtains drawn, yet Micah could make out several shadowy shapes within it. Oh my goodness. There was an armorer, an escritor, and an impressive, geez, that's freaky, and an impressive oaken-hewn bed, not so very different from the one in Micah's room. There was one factor, however, which differentiated the room in which Micah had stayed from this one, and that was the chains looped about the headboard. These chains, which glinted in the dappled moonlight, ended in manacles, which were still sealed tight about the limbs of a creature which no longer stirred. The creature was laid upon the bed, had 2 slender arms and 2 slender legs, and it wore upon its body a gown which might have once been fine, but now was hopelessly tattered. Its legs were bare, and it wore no shoes. Its hair, long and dark, was matted about its face, its eyes closed in a slumber. Micah could tell it was a small creature, even lying down, a good head shorter than herself and far skinnier. Why, Micah realized with a gasp. The creature was not a creature at all. It was a girl, and a very young girl at that. She could not have been more than 4 or 5 years of age. Oh, that's really sad. She was still a veritable infant, an innocent child. Why? And she was dead. Somebody had driven a decorative blade into her chest, so deep its pointed tip threatened to pin her to the mattress upon which she lay. A single rivulet of red ran from the girl's mouth, staining her alabaster skin, and her arms and legs were bent at awkward angles, as if they had been hopelessly broken.
Micah.
Henny turned to look at her friend, fearful of what she spied, and upon seeing her harried expression, winced.
Please, don't look at it. It will only upset you. God knows it upsets me enough, seeing Hyde Marie do that. But it had to be done. She wasn't human, Micah.
Micah could see that well enough, with how horribly pale the girl was, but still, she grieved for her. She couldn't overlook how very young the girl was, nor how fragile she looked. It seemed a gross cruelty to treat a child so. Who could have killed her so callously? Micah's stomach churned. She heaved. Then, with bitter, acrid tears beating in her eyes,
Micah!
Micah turned her head and vomited all over the stone floor. Micah felt woozy after injecting the contents of her stomach upon the floor, yet hadn't time to properly regain her bearings. Yeah, I didn't expect that either, Zenta. That was crazy. While sympathetic, Henny was anxious to keep moving, and after consoling Micah soon took hold of her hand again.
I'm sorry, Micah, but we really have to run. We can't stay here, not any longer. I need to get you to safety.
Micah would have argued, if she could, that she felt perfectly safe with Magdalena, yet could not. There was a sharp, sour taste at the back of her throat which prohibited all words, and, in any event, she knew the words she wanted to speak were untruths. Were untruths? She was not safe with Magdalena. How could she be when the other woman had caused her so many wounds? She continued to stay with Magdalena, it seemed inevitable that she would die. Henny knew this too, and had traveled all the way to rescue her. Yet, though Micah appreciated it, an ungrateful part of her wished she had not bothered. Micah had already made peace with the thought of dying. She had made peace with it long ago, before Magdalena had taken her prisoner, even. She had always been a captive in some form or another, unable to say what was on her mind or to do what she truly wanted. Living with her parents had been no true life. It had been a hollow, empty existence which had parodied living, yet had been too full of wanting, all without consequence, for it to mean anything. Micah had never truly lived at all, not in all her 25 years. This had only changed after meeting Magdalena. Magdalena meant to kill her, but at least her company had led Micah's pitiful existence some sense of purpose. Micah didn't want to leave her. She couldn't leave her. But Micah knew not how to communicate this to Henny. She did not think Henny would understand, regardless of how close they were. How could she? Henny had witnessed Micah's loneliness for herself with her own eyes over the course of many years, but she knew not just how it had hurt Micah, wearing her down until death began to seem preferable to the purgatory she found herself in. She had no idea. She thought she was saving Micah, but in actual fact, she was only wrenching her away from all that she cared for. What would she do, Micah wondered, if Henny really was able to liberate her from Magdalena's abode? Where would she go? To Augsburg, she supposed, to marry Walter Gerhardt, as her parents had planned. But That was too horrible a fate to contemplate. Micah would rather have died. She would rather have died with Magdalena.
Come on, Micah. Just a bit further.
Henny led Micah into the entrance hall of Magdalena's home. It was a vast, empty shell of a room, which might once have been grand, but now was choked with dust. Micah took in, though vaguely, the chandelier suspended from the ceiling, festooned with spider webs, and the old piano in the corner, the lid closed, the keys untouched. The air was stagnant, and it stunk of decay. The entrance hall was dark, too, illuminated by only a few weak, wavering bands of moonlight which had spilled in through the windows. The moonlight was bright enough, however, that Micah could see the hall was not deserted. She could see figures, one hanging back, obscured by shadow, while the other two faced off against the other. One of these figures was Magdalena. She was glowering, her lips pulled back in a snarl which revealed her teeth, sharp like knives. The other figure, meanwhile, was unfamiliar to Micah. Her statue was diminutive, her heart-shaped face dwarfed by her swaths of fair hair. This figure, this girl, seemed so slight. Micah wouldn't have put her age as anything past 8 or 9. That makes that one chapter just so much more uncomfortable. She was so slender, there was something fairy-like about her. The girl looked innocent, but a glance made it apparent that she was no ordinary child. Her skin was as white as milk, and her eyes were liquid gold. She must have been like Magdalena, and, like the girl, Micah thought with a shudder, shackled to the bed, impaled through the heart. She was a vampire.
Come on, Micah. Let's try and get around while they're so busy. We've got a bit of a way to go, but we can still make it. I don't think they've noticed us.
Henny led Micah down the stairs. She followed, barefooted, dazed by all which had occurred. True to Henny's words, Magdalena seemed not to notice her. She was too busy glowering at the young vampire girl, a truly awful expression upon her face. This Hydmer.
Goodness me. Is this how you treat all of your guests? You aren't the most hospitable, are you? I thought you would have been glad of company, living in a lonely pile like this for so very long. But I guess not. Please don't tell me you're one of those curious people who enjoys being alone. If that were the case, I doubt you'd be such an ardent practitioner of kidnapping.
Actually, Venom, can you do Magdalena? I'll do Micah.
Okay. Shut up. Don't you take that tone with me, you monster. Don't you dare.
Oh?
The girl raised her eyebrow.
A monster, am I?
Yes, you are. You are an unpardonable monster. Don't act so high and mighty when you know what you did. You killed my mistress, you coward. You killed her in cold blood while she was chained up, unable to act, and she was only a child.
Ah, yes, I suppose I did do that, didn't I?
You suppose?
Indeed, I did. And I must apologize for that. I fear I must have made quite the poor first impression. Perhaps I ought to have sought your company out first, rather than heading straight to that little mistress in her chamber. But I thought it a common courtesy, you see, to talk to the lady of her house before her servants. You might have had a couple years to perfect your deception, but I could tell at a glance you're not a proper lady. You're a common scullery maid. It's very amusing that you thought you could act above your station like that. It's so funny I might laugh. But I suppose that would be rude too. Goodness me, I really can't do anything right.
Hide, Marie.
A third figure, this one a tall, slender man who had been half hidden in the shadows, stepped forwards to caution the young girl.
Don't make such a scene. Murdering a child is nothing to gloat about. Not when she was incapable of fighting back. Now, let us stop this silliness and focus on the task at hand. We still have one more vampire to dispose of before we can consider our job done.
Oh,
The vampire girl, Hyde Marie, Micah supposed her name was, inclined her head in the tall man's direction, then pouted.
that isn't any fun, Johan. You should know how much I love talking. It's rare that I have a chance to interact with one of my own.
I am aware, but you shouldn't let yourself get distracted. Not while we still have a job to do. You need to focus.
Ugh, what a pain. You never let me have any fun.
Fun! Magdalena stared Hyde Marie down, her red eyes little more than pinpricks in the white of her eyes. You would kill my young mistress and you would call it fun? Have you truly no heart? You're reprehensible!
Perhaps I am, but you've no right to chastise me yourself, vampire. How many innocents have you murdered yourself over the years to satiate your own bloodlust? This house has quite a macabre history. You can pretend otherwise. You've been doing that for decades, but you can't hide the truth from me. I can smell the blood in the air and all of the death. Now I think it high time to put an end to your wicked ways. Shouldn't be hard.
Hyde Marie's golden eyes flickered languidly over Magdalena.
You aren't at all in your peak physical condition. I can see it in that pinched, pained look in your face and the way you slouch your shoulders. That little mistress of yours, who you kept chained out like a rabid dog, hasn't been treating you very well, has she?
That's none of your business.
You've been sustaining her over the years with fresh victims. Don't think I don't know what's been going on, but she hasn't been at all appreciative of your efforts. I imagine she gets violent when she's hungry. I wouldn't be at all surprised if she bites.
Be quiet!
That's the problem, of course. When our kind are turned too young, these poor, pathetic fledgling vampires tend to lose their rationality.
Venom just store poor Lush's line. No, Lush wants to switch. Lush wants to be Micah now.
They can't handle the strain of immortality, and their mental faculties abandon them. They lose their sense of self, and they become nothing more than monsters. They can't be reasoned with. They can scarcely even think. They exist solely to satisfy their own hunger. But we vampires are greedy, selfish creatures, and we can never be satisfied for long. It's impossible to keep young vampires like that from lashing out, no matter how hard you try. That girl was obviously a lost cause. I have no idea why you thought it was a good idea to keep her alive for so long. I was doing her a favor when I killed her. She was an aberration.
I said be quiet. I might not be in my best condition right now, but I'm more than a match for a coward like you who murders small children for sport. I won't let you escape unpunished. Not after what you did to my mistress.
Now that is funny. It's awfully hypocritical of you to want to fight me when I was turned before my 11th year.
Oh my god.
In human terms, I'm still a young girl myself. But please don't get any funny ideas into that empty head of yours. I'm not so weak as that creature you called your mistress. I never did lose my sense of self, though I've been alive for centuries. I am one of the oldest vampires in Europe, and certainly the most powerful. Do you really think you can best me? If so, I admire your optimism, but it's very much misplaced. It would be easier if you simply submitted to me. But never mind. I'm more than willing to teach you a lesson.
Micah had been watching this exchange halfway up the grand staircase, frozen in horror, but now Henny seemed, at long last, to have had enough.
Micah, come on!
Henny tugged at Micah's hand again, trying to chivvy her along.
We need to move!
Micah knew Henny was right, yet she could not tear away her eyes from Magdalena. Heidemarie was fast approaching Magdalena, supremely self-confident despite her short stature. The vampire girl might have looked like a child, but Micah knew she was anything cold, and contained within them no mercy. It was she who had killed the child chained upstairs. She had driven a stake through her heart and had listened, perhaps, to her dying cries. She was every inch a killer, just as Magdalena was. Now she meant to put an end to Magdalena, too, and Micah feared she might be successful in this endeavor. How could Micah run away with Henny and let that happen? She could not. She had to protect Magdalena.
I'm sorry, Hen, but
Micah, with a burst of newfound strength, wrenched her arm free from Henny's grasp, then dashed forth.
I need to help Lena.
What? But, Micah...
Henny called after her friend, her right arm extended.
Why would you do that? She kidnapped you! You don't owe her anything!
She might have kidnapped me, but that doesn't mean I don't care about her. She's a good person, really, and I don't want her to be hurt, much less killed. No, wait. Oh, please, wait.
Micah's feet slapped against the ground as she ran, her white nightgown billowing about her legs. Coming between Magdalena and Heidemarie, she spread out her arms in the hopeful yet ultimately futile gesture of one who meant to stop the whistling of the wind or the lashing of the rain.
Don't do this. Please, don't hurt.
Oh!
Oh! Oh!
Oh! Wait,
Holy
that's
shit.
Heidemarie. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Wait.
I was about to say, do you think Micah's gonna die?
Oh, wow. But despite Micah's good intentions, she was unable to finish her entreaty. Heidemarie had been moving too quickly, far more quickly than any human eye could hope to follow, and though spying Micah, she had not been able to slow in time. Wow. The young vampire was soon upon Micah, her right hand extended. Her nails, which were filed into dangerously sharp points, pressed against Micah's back, then pierced straight through her chest. Heidemarie's right hand penetrated Micah's ribcage as if her flesh were ephemeral, made of nothing sturdier than spider webs. Though Micah cried out, it took a few moments for the pain to fully hit her. Her eyes were wider than goose eggs as she looked down, staring at the arm which penetrated her shuddering body. Viscous red liquid was beginning to ooze down Heidemarie's white wrist. It was so vivid in the gloom of Magdalena's cavernous entrance hall that it looked unreal, like something from a dream. Micah's blood was brighter than rubies and thicker than strawberry jam. Micah's body twitched about Heidemarie's hand. She felt herself turning numb by increments. First her legs, then her chest, then her shoulders, then her arms, until she could no longer feel the tips of her fingers. Micah looked at her own blood as it dripped onto the threadbare carpet and moaned. Her blood looked oddly beautiful, in an obscene, profane sort of way. But Micah did not have the time to contemplate how brightly her blood shone, nor how otherworldly it seemed. The agony of being rent in two soon overcame her.
Micah! Oh God, Micah!
Micah! And with a twin series of cries from the two women who cared about Micah the most, her body tottered. She teetered. All strength she had once possessed fled her, and if that too had been a dream. Oh my god. Micah drew away from Hyde-Marie with one jerking footstep, thus freeing herself from the young vampire's grasping right hand. Her chest wound, no longer stoppered by Hyde-Marie, seemed to expand when she shuffled away. It gaped open like the maw of a hungry beast, and more of Micah's lifeblood split onto the stone staircase. Micah pressed one white, trembling hand to her wound, and was surprised when her fingers came away stained. She could smell the blood in the air, her blood. It was dizzying, overpowering stench which plugged up her nostrils. Micah swayed. Then, with a hiss of pain, she fell. Micah's body hit the ground, like that of a lifeless, senseless doll. And her vision went black.
Micah! Oh god! Oh god!
Henny watched with wide, anxious eyes as Micah collapsed to the ground. Pressing one hand to her aching chest, the maid cried out as if to rouse her mistress, though to little avail.
Micah! Micah, please wake up! Oh god, this can't be happening!
Henny dashed to Micah's side and knelt before her, Micah's head cradled upon her lap. Henny took care not to jostle Micah as she embraced her, for fear of hurting her, but a resultant gasp of pain from Micah's lips would have been preferable to the silence that Henny was greeted with. Micah didn't open her eyes, though Henny threaded her fingers through her disheveled hair. She was breathing, though barely, but this offered Henny little in the way of solace. Micah's face was so pale she might have been a corpse. The wound Hyde-Marie had inflicted upon her, meanwhile, was gaping, and continued to ooze blood like a particularly macabre fountain as Henny watched. Henny did not touch Micah's wound. She worried she would only make it worse, but it was bleeding so profusely she found herself sullied. The rich, overwhelming stench of blood clung to Henny, but she didn't pull away from her mistress. To leave Micah lying upon the floor with nothing to cushion her head seemed callous beyond all measure. Henny was now certain there was nothing she could do to save her dear friend. Micah had lost too much blood, and her poor face was so very pale.
Micah. Oh, Micah. I didn't come here to hurt you. This isn't what I wanted. I wanted to rescue you. I thought I could help. So why?
More tears fell from Henny's lashes. They rolled down her cheeks and dripped upon Micah's body, mingling with the bright red blood which stained the front of her gown.
Why did things work out this way? How did I make such a mess of everything? Why am I so useless?
These queries forced their way from Henny's throat in a low, pained moan, almost like that of an animal. Her tears were so intense that her body seemed ready to collapse in on itself. Henny knew crying would not help, but she could not stop herself. There seemed nothing to do but cry, with Micah in so sorry a state. Why, her body seemed to be growing colder with every passing second. Micah's blood, however, was very warm, and still, she continued to spill it. Oh, God. Magdalena, for her part, was immobile in a manner which echoed Micah's. Her eyes were so wide they seemed all whites. Her body quivered, fingers curling into fists at her side as she murmured, This can't be happening. I don't believe it. I don't want to believe it. Oh, Mike.
Now this is an interesting development.
Hyde-Marie surveyed Magdalena archly, one hand resting upon her hip. Her right hand was still daubed to the wrist in Micah's blood, which now had begun to congeal. Though Hyde-Marie had been the one to deal Micah that final blow, she didn't seem particularly moved by Micah's grisly fate. Lips pursed. She said in a voice cold enough it made Magdalena shudder.
I didn't think anyone would be so... I didn't think that you'd be so upset by Micah's injury, Vampire. Did you not intend to drain her like this yourself? I only spread the process along, though what occurred was rather unfortunate. I meant to help her, not harm her.
I don't care what you meant! Sorry, that felt a little bit too much. Let me try that again.
No, it was good. It was good.
It was?
Nah, that was valid. That was valid, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whether you meant to help her or not is irrelevant now. Look what you've done. How could you?
How could I?
Hadbury raised an eyebrow.
You forget, Vampire, that you're the one who kidnapped her. I never would have been summoned here if it weren't for your actions. You are the one who is to be blamed for this mess. Why, I didn't even mean to hurt her. I was trying to go after you, but she got in the way. I have no idea why she wanted to protect you. She must have some very strange ideas about our kind. Doesn't she know that we vampires are stronger than any humans could ever hope to be? Especially weak, willowy-limbed women such as herself? If I hadn't adjusted the angle of my attack in time, I would have pierced her heart. Then she wouldn't be breathing at all. But of course, Mika knows about...
That's me.
Sorry.
Oops.
You're
Oops.
good.
My bad.
But of course Micah knows about vampires. We spent enough time together that she would know full well my strength eclipsed hers, and yet... Magdalena grit her teeth together, overcome by the intensity of her own emotions. She knew that, but she still came between us. She must have meant to protect me. Micah's always been like that. She's thoughtful to a fault, to the point of self-sacrifice. Why does she have to play being a heroine? She should have known that things would end up like this. Micah, you fool. Magdalena couldn't cry, but her shoulders shook regardless. Her face twisted anew, not with anger, but with grief, as she pressed her hands to her face. You're right. I might have lashed out at you, but the fact remains that Micah wouldn't be in this situation if it wasn't for me. I'm the one who put her in danger. This is all my fault. I never wanted to harm her, but... Another dry sob wrenched its way from Magdalena's throat, one so intense she had squeezed her eyes shut. The smell of blood hung in the air, dense and heavy. Magdalena could smell it when she inhaled, the taste upon her tongue. The blood was that of a siren song. It was sweetly intoxicating.
What was that of a siren song? It was sweetly intoxicating, but acknowledge it. Oh, sorry! Oh my fucking god! Bro. Oh my god.
Are you the narrator now?
No, I was practicing it.
Were you
Give me a
trying to
second.
be muted?
Yes! Oh my god, that was so embarrassing, bro. Stop. Can we ignore that? Move on.
The blood was like that of a siren song. It was sweetly intoxicating, but the knowledge it belonged to Micah made Magdalena's stomach churn. I'm sorry.
Stop laughing, bro. I swear to god.
How will I ever make amends for what I've done? Oh, Micah. You sweet, idiotic, adorable fool. There was no need for you to leap to my defense. I'm no hopeless damsel.
Micah, please.
Henny, who was kneeling on the ground, continued to shake Micah to little no avail. Micah's breath was beginning to wear thin, even as Henny implored her to open her eyes, to take her hand, to live on despite the odds.
Please, don't leave me. Don't go. I couldn't bear it.
Magdalena stiffened anew as Henny spoke. She sounded so desperate it mirrored her own feelings as well. She didn't want Micah to die either. But what was she to do? What is the point in living as long as I have if I know not how to help the people I care about the most? What in the world am I to do? Hyde Marie, who remained arch despite Henny and Magdalena's evident distress, only sniffed.
There's something you can do, you know, if you wish to save her as you claim.
What? Magdalena drew her hands from her face, then raised her head to meet Hyde Marie's gaze. What are you referring to exactly?
Must I elaborate further? You must know already, vampire, given your nature. Do not tell me you have not considered the possibility of turning her.
You mean I ought to make her into one of us?
I did not say that you ought to, only that you could. If you care about this human as much as you seem to, you could still save her. You need only to bite her neck and drain some of her blood. That should be enough to change her. Her heart might stop beating, but she'll still be alive. In a sense, at least. You should be fast about it, though, if that's what you desire. I don't think she has much time left. We cannot transform corpses. Only the living. But I suppose you must know that already.
Of course I do. You don't need to explain it as though I am a child. I have thought about turning her, of course. Believe me, I have. Do you really think I could go forward with such a great act of selfishness?
You think it would be selfish to spare her life?
Yes, I do. I would be sparing her from nothing if I turned her into a vampire. I would accomplish nothing save making her suffer. I don't want Micah to die, but I want even less to condemn her to eternal death, without the reprieve of resting, not unless she were to will it. If these are my only two choices, then I would rather let Micah pass peacefully. But I would far rather see her live on as a human woman. I just want her to be happy.
I see. So that's how it is,
Thanks for the follow. Oh, hey,
The
Kimmy.
Mimily has
Welcome
joined
on
the
in.
Legion.
Had Marie replied after a brief pause, one hand now resting on her chin.
I had wondered about your precise relationship with the poor dying Fräulein, but it seems it was more than that of a captor and a captive. You might have kidnapped her for nefarious purposes, but it seems you really did grow to care about her.
Yeah, very distressing gameplay.
That you have no desire to turn her speaks volumes for your character. You aren't the sort of monster who would condemn others to a hollow, empty life of eternal undeath, such as those who sunk their fangs into all of us those decades prior. Vampire though you are still capable of rational thought.
Also, decades prior? Wasn't it centuries? Girl, get your time straight.
I think she was talking about the other vampire who hasn't. Yeah.
Perhaps that's why the clumsy young Fräulein jumped to your defense as she did. She must have seen there was something within you worth saving. I can't hate you after hearing your response. Neither do I wish to harm you. I would rather this story end on a cheerful note, too. This rarely happens in my line of work, so...
Hyde Marie clicked her fingers, then glanced sharply at Johann.
You know what to do, my charming assistant. Please, make yourself useful.
Of course. I'm always ready and willing to serve.
Serve. Sorry.
Serve! If I might be able to help Lady Micah, then I shall do all I can to ease her suffering. That is my duty. as a humble servant of the Lord.
It was with these words on his lips that Johann bent down by Micah's side. Reaching down, he captured between his fingers one of Micah's limp, pale wrists and offered Henny a small smile. So
Thanks
this
for the
motherfucker could do
follow.
this, like,
Lil
wait.
Brown Boy underscore
That
has
looks really
joined the Legion.
gross.
Thank you for the follow, little brown boy. So this motherfucker could have done something this whole time and was just watching like, well, until the 9-year-old vampire commands me, I'm just gonna sit here and watch. I'm not really gonna do anything.
I think he thinks the young vampire is God, judging by what he said.
No, he's like an actual Christian. No, he serves in a church and he's only working with the vampire because they need her for vampire jobs specifically, but he low-key hates her, but also low-key has some strange dynamic with her. But I'm just upset because like he literally just stood there and saw this bitch dying and was just like, oh, that's so sad. Wow.
It'd be like that, I guess.
Can we get this panel over with, guys? Wait. I'm sorry, I don't want to...
Oh,
I
really?
can't really... Let me just get this over with. Please, forgive me, Bro Enrique. I don't mean to disturb you. But if I must, I'm to aid her. But if I am to aid her, I'll try to be quick about it, though. Oh my god, it's not fucking moving. She has lost an awful amount of blood.
Wait, hold up. Let's see. Okay, he's gonna save her.
Okay, thank
Hyde
you.
Marie scoffed.
Johann's capabilities aren't so prosaic. He has no need for a needle and thread to sew together his patients. Even unfortunates such as yourself, Lady Micah. Johann has several unique capabilities which normal humans do not possess. He is so pure, he is so very pure and godly, you see. For his hands exude a certain kind of energy, I suppose you might term it. Or else, magic?
You know I don't hold it magic. It's marks of the devil. I would prefer to think of it. I would prefer to think of my abilities as a gift, or else a blessing, bestowed upon me by...
God up on high, yes, I know. Oh, goodness, you're so picky about these things, Johann. I don't think the semantics matter awfully myself. I've been alive too long to care about such petty things. You humans are all so sensitive. I wasn't trying to insinuate that you've been touched by the devil. You're far too much of a do-gooder for that.
Bro, can y'all shut up and just heal Micah? I hate this guy so fucking.
Why are they fighting in the middle of Micah's dying?
Just shut up and heal this bitch, because you already wasted a bunch of time just staring, fucking twiddling your thumbs, twiddling with your fucking ears and your fucking cry. Like, what the fuck? Sorry.
Why, thank you. I will take that as a compliment, I suppose.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
It wasn't meant as one. You're so very kind you make my stomach turn.
You would say that, loving chaos as you do. You can never pass upon a chance to make others uncomfortable.
And what of it? I believe I've earned that right after living for so many centuries.
Bro, save the bitch.
Like, shut up! Shut up! Oh my god, and they just keep going! Okay, she could see, even as she sat there, look away for a second, I'll let you know when it's done. She could see, even as she sat there, a strange celestial light beginning to gather about Johann's fingers. This light spread all over Micah's body, imbuing it in an otherworldly glow, which made Henny gasp.
Goodness.
I don't fully understand what it... Oh, sorry.
Sorry. I'm sorry. I don't fully understand what it is you're doing. But are you healing my mistress? What the fuck is the baby behind him?
You can look now, Lush. The body's not there anymore. The body... It's like a completely different artist, because this is like a completely different style. Because like, now she looks all anime, and then this is like a completely different art style. Healing?
Yeah.
Is such a thing truly possible? Alright, Lush, you have a line and there's
It
no
is
blood.
my God-given gift, yes. I have the ability to I have the ability to diminish aches and pain with nothing more than a touch of my hand, which is why I work with Hyde Marie. It is my duty to keep an eye on her, and to aid any unwitty victims who may get caught up in the cross. Oh my god, let me redo that. It is my duty to keep an eye on her, and to aid any unwitting victims who may get caught up in the crossfire of battle. She is not to give in to restraint. She is not to give in to restraint, as you may have noticed.
Here, Johan sighed, and then yapped some fucking more.
What is going on in the back, though?
I
Yeah, what
have
is
no
that?
idea, actually. I have no idea. I think this is
It is
supposed to
harder
be like, I think this is supposed to be like metaphorical, maybe?
It is harder for me to deal with wounds such as this. Though, particularly when so much blood has been lost.
So maybe if you healed her and stopped yapping, she would lose less blood. Jesus fucking.
I need to concentrate if I'm able to, oh fuck. I need to concentrate if I'm to have any oh my god.
Any
I need
hope.
to concentrate if I am to have any hope of succeeding.
Oh God! Oh, yes, of course. Please, please forgive me. I've never seen anything like this before, so I was curious. But if this will help, Micah, you can do whatever it is you want.
Excuse me?
Oh, sorry. Whatever.
What does she mean by that? Why did she make that comment? Hyde Marie smiled thinly.
I would be careful when issuing such words forth in the future, Fräulein. You give Johann rather too much leeway.
Check that fucking priest hard drive. I hate them so much.
Fortunately
What?
for you, he's kind enough to not take advantage. But you might not be so lucky when it comes to the machinations of others.
What the fuck are you
What?
talking about, Hyde Marie? Oh my god, these writers piss me off so fucking bad sometimes. You know, this entire rest of this, I was really just like, how do I say this? I was not giving them hell as much as usual. I was like, oh, okay, you know, there's a little bit of wordiness, but we're starting to move through. But now they're getting too fixated on these two again, and they're fucking dynamic. It's showing us they have a little dynamic. Like, shut the fuck up! Sorry.
We came for the Yuri, bro.
Hyde Marie snickered unpleasantly while Johann continued to work. He gripped Micah's wrist tight and bowed his head. His lips pursed together in almost a silent prayer while he worked. I'm so fucking mad, actually. Henny, meanwhile, could only watch, wide-eyed, still holding onto Micah's crumpled form. It seemed impossible that Micah might be restored to her senses after having been so grievously injured. Why, it would take a real miracle to save her. That was what Henny thought, but weren't Johann's hands miraculous in and of themselves? Henny had never before heard of any humans who possessed such powers, and she felt rather overwhelmed by it all. She did not begrudge Johann for aiding her mistress, but it unnerved her all the same. Despite Johann's assertion that his abilities had been bestowed upon him by God, there was something unnatural about the light which emanated from him. Henny had half a mind to pull Micah away from him, so as to sever the connection established between her mistress and the grim-faced father, but this would result in disaster. Johann seemed the only person capable of aiding her. As such, Henny had little choice but to allow him to work, despite her own misgivings. Henny closed her eyes, cradling Micah's head upon her lap, and internally she prayed. Please, Henny prayed, with a fervor she had not felt for quite some time, not since escaping Lord and Lady Von Essen's carriage with Micah in tow. Let my Micah be safe. Please let her open her eyes.
Should I be reading the thoughts?
Yeah, she's having a lot of thoughts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let her breath draw anew without having to struggle for it, and lessen the burden which weighs upon her body.
Why am I so high?
Please let her get better.
Henny prayed and she prayed and she prayed as the seconds elapsed. So entrenched in her own thoughts, her surroundings slipped away. The stench of blood in the air no longer weighed upon her, and neither did the anxious beating of her own heart within her breast. She forgot about Magdalena, who stood still as a statue, and of Heidemarie, who watched with idle curiosity of a bystander, and even about Johann, whose fingers still clasped about Micah's wrist. She thought only of Micah, her mistress and her friend both. She recalled the times they had spent together when they had been younger, and their ill-fated excursion into von Essen family crypt, which had incurred of Lady von Essen's ire. She recalled walks through the von Essen's family estate, their arms looped together as they were promenading ladies, and of sitting by the riverbank in the summer months when the dragonflies were out and about. Somebody in chat said his face low-key looks like, fuck, I forgot to turn the stove off. She recalled games of poker played in Micah's bedroom and the shy, whispered secrets Micah had shared with her late in the night when nobody else had been around. Guys, you're
Are we
distracting
still
me.
going? I'm sorry, but like, what
Somebody
the
in
fuck?
chat said Johan looks like he's locking in for Face ID. Like trying to get into his phone with Face ID. She recalled Micah's fears about marrying Walter Gerhardt and how she had trembled when she had confided these feelings in Henny. Henny had been dismissive of Micah's worries back then. She had tried to cheer Micah up, to tell her things that would not be so bad when she had settled in, but now Henny feared she had been callous. Had she upset Micah by failing to pay proper heed to her concerns? Henny wished that she could apologize for any hurt she might have caused. Henny wished that she could apologize. She wished she could have told Micah how much she meant to her. She wished. Oh, there was so much she wished for, and so much she wished to say, but what she wished for, most of all, was that Micah would recover. Henny clung to this hope as though it were a talisman, her eyes tightly shut, her desperate desire buried within her, brighter than ever, brighter than any star, intense enough to be all-encompassing. She prayed, and she prayed, and she prayed. And eventually...
Am I supposed to say that?
Yeah.
You're Micah now, right?
Really?
Henny heard her name called in a sweet, soft cadence she recognized only too well. The voice was weak, void of any real energy. But still, it was enough to soothe Henny of all her anxious thoughts.
Again?
I'll let you know when it's done. Henny's eyes snapped open, fitfully. She stared down at the woman who lay upon her lap.
Micah! Oh, my Micah!
Micah's own eyes were still closed, but upon her lips she wore a small smile, one which was marred only slightly with pain. Her nightgown was still splattered with blood, but Henny could see her wound had healed, her skin, visible through her torn nightgown, unblemished. Johann had succeeded after all, despite his earlier cautions. He had healed her. Micah was safe.
Thank goodness! I'm so relieved! Micah! I'm Micah!
Henny. Micah squeezed Henny's hand with her own, as though to reassure her, and it was this gesture, so selflessly sweet and so very Micah, which tipped Henny over the edge. She slumped forward, her shoulders shaking. Then she began to cry. Magdalena, too, was surveying the scene which unfolded before her with wide eyes. Pressing one hand to her mouth, she exclaimed softly, "Micah! Oh my God, I could hardly believe it. I was so worried about you. If you had died, oh." A shudder ran through Magdalena's body. Overcome, she sunk to the floor. I don't know if I could have endured it. I have no idea what I'd do without you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry you suffered so much. I'm sorry. Magdalena pressed both her hands to her face anew, though she had no tears to hide, and began to sob soundlessly, her shoulders trembling as if she were a polar explorer caught in a frigid blizzard. Kind of an ass metaphor for this context, I can't lie.
Love it.
Heidemarie, for her part, watched on, her arms folded. Her right hand was still dark with Micah's blood, yet she paid it little heed. Observing Magdalena's sobs, she said softly,
It would appear that this vampire. Sorry. It would appear that this vampire isn't is. It would appear that this vampire isn't half as dangerous as I first thought. The little vampire I incapacitated upstairs was much more threatening than she is. Now that she's been taken care of, the older one should have no need to continue procuring victims to satiate her bloodlust.
So basically, we're like, yay, the kid's dead. Is that
I
the
wonder.
conclusion?
I guess.
Yeah.
Johann rose up on unsteady legs, wearied after his efforts to revitalize Micah, then approached his charge.
Are you having second thoughts?
Heidmarie nodded.
Tell me, Johann, would you think me awfully weak-willed if I chose, just this once, to spare our quarry's life?
Surprisingly sentimental coming from you. But it's rare. In our line of work, that we were able to usher in endings as happy as this.
A happy ending after you fucked everything up, right?
Lady Magdalena seems to have no further desire to harm you. As such, you have no reason to engage in her further combat.
Wait, what happened? Basically, Johann spent a long amount of time just yapping while he apparently had the healing touch, the healing Jesus touch, and is able to heal her. Like, he didn't need to, like, he could have just healed her right away, and he just waited for Tiny Vampire to give him the word.
In circumstances as unique as these, I do not think there is any reason for you to execute her.
That is precisely what I am thinking. She's not doing anything wrong as far as I can gather, other than existing. Yet I know better than anybody that we vampires do not ask to be made as we are. We have little choice in the matter. I believe this poor, conflicted creature is a victim, not a monster, and ought to be treated accordingly. I am not completely devoid of feelings, and I do know how to sympathize with the plights of others. I cannot help but feel sorry for this poor Fräulein.
Heidmarie clicked her tongue, considering, then smiled.
Very well, then. I shall spare you. Let us report to our superiors in the church that we slew the monsters in this abode, and she will no longer be an issue. We need to tell them about Fräulein Magdalena here. She's no monster. I doubt the church will come all the way out here to corroborate our tale. Not unless the Fräulein here gets peckish and starts picking off more travelers. I know you can keep your consumption of human flesh to a minimum. Wait, if you can keep your consumption of human flesh to a minimum, then nobody need know you were here here at all. I'm tweaking. You can continue to live, if indeed your continued existence could be termed as such, and everybody can be happy.
By the way, it's not just you, Doopy. For this entire visual novel, something about the way it's written, I'm not sure what it is, but something about the way it's written is really hard to read out loud for some reason. Like, we constantly do that.
It's written very archaically, which usually I like in writing, but it is very difficult to read, especially if you're like sight reading.
Yeah.
So it's like,
well, even so, like some archaic reading, like that's difficult, but there's something about the way the writer chooses to place the sentences and place the breaks in sentences and like phrase things that just like does not roll off the tongue. But then again, this wasn't written to be read out loud.
yeah.
Isn't that nice of me?
What? Magdalena stared at Heidmarie, shaking like a newborn deer. Will you truly let me go?
Indeed, I shall. I've tired of spilling blood, and it looks like you haven't had much to drink for a while regardless. In your current state, you wouldn't be much fun to play with. I doubt you'd have more than a few droplets of your own blood to spill anyway.
But you were sent here to kill me. I think I almost deserve it when I think about everything I've done. Shut up, let them leave. I've killed dozens, no, hundreds of people.
Only hundreds?
Oh my god.
Henry scoffed.
What the hell?
Don't make me laugh. I've killed far, far more. Then what was that earlier, bruh? Right. Don't forget, I've been alive longer than you, and have feasted far more solely to satisfy my own greed. I am the more immoral of the two of us, yet I continue to live. Who's to say you shouldn't? I am in no position to judge you.
No, that's funny. Magdalena laughed dryly, without humor. Isn't it your job to judge godless beings such as myself, executor of the church?
On paper, I suppose. But I don't think of myself as being all that important. I've never been one to care about right or wrong. I only do what amuses me. Fighting you wouldn't be fun at all. Not when I know how pathetic you are.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god.
It would feel too much like kicking a poor, defenseless puppy.
Bitch, I'll kill you. Pathetic, am I?
You are, yes. But don't look so put out by that. Most vampires are pathetic in comparison to me.
Oh my god. Hadmarie tittered, then spoke anew, in a voice which was much more serious.
It was rather It was rather naughty of you to harm so many innocents, but I presume you did so only to feed that child you were saddled with. You didn't partake in any of the spilled blood yourself, did you?
No, I couldn't. Seeing Christelle feed turned my stomach. I knew I had no desire to end up like her, slave to my desires. I thirsted for blood too, like all vampires do, but I've never once drank the blood of a human. So she's vegan. I feed only on the... never mind. I feed only on the blood of wild animals. All those people I killed, the bandits and the brigands and the vagrants, were offered up to Crystal. I had to hunt for her. I had no choice. Without me, she would have died.
I understand that, but I think killing her might have been for the best. Surely you knew she was a lost cause. Yes, I believe you did realize it. You must have, serving her for as long as you did. Keeping her alive at all was an act of cruelty when she had no sensible thoughts left in her head and no purpose for living, save for satisfying her own perverse hunger. But it is no matter. I believe you've suffered enough, and I know your heart was in the right place. I won't condemn you for your actions. I've no place to. Your enduring loyalty to your mistress, though misguided, was somewhat touching. It is almost enough to bring a tear to my eye. Or at least, it would be could I cry. Now,
Hadmarie looked to Johann, a small smile playing about her lips.
I believe our work here is done. We have defeated the vicious vampire, and peace has similarly been restored. I've no desire to wait out while the heroines of this story make amends. So should we depart? I would hate to get in the way of their joyous reunion. And you are in dire need of rest yourself, Johann. You look half dead upon your feet.
I cannot argue with that. I feel awfully weak. I'm unsure whether I can make the journey back to Augsburg unassisted.
It's fortunate for you, then, that you have me to help you. You may lean on my shoulder if you wish, and I can guide you. Is that not kind of me?
Oh yes, very much so. Your thoughtfulness knows no bounds.
That's what I thought.
Hadmarie snickered.
The pair of us shall soon be departing. Do you wish to come with us, Fräulein?
This question she addressed to Henny, who knelt on the floor by Micah's side still.
Or would you rather stay here to tend to your mistress? I believe she would be in safe hands with Magdalena, but I've no doubt you've also worried about her welfare. Oh, yes. I must thank you both for leading me to Micah, and you, Johann, for helping her. But I can't come back with you. Micah needs me to stay with her, as she's in no fit state to travel. I'll stay here with her for as long as she needs me, unless...
Henny looked at Magdalena, abashed.
You would have a problem with that? I forget this is your home.
You overstep your mark, young maid. You have forgotten your courtesy and your concern. But I suppose I can't begrudge you for that. I know how it feels to worry for my own mistress, and Micah is far sweeter than Crystal ever was. I will let you stay here if you wish to tend to Micah as she rests. As a fellow human, you would be better served to care for her than I am. My attempts, I fear, would be rather clumsy. I have no stay in whether you stay or leave. This is not truly my home, nor has it ever been. I am no lady. I was only ever pretending.
Oh, thank you, Magdalena. Thank you so much. I promise I'll do everything I can to help Nika. I won't let her condition worsen. Not under my watchful eye.
I'm quite certain that you will. You needn't reassure me. The relationship shared between you is very special indeed. While I was nothing more than Crystal's maid, I could see that you are, truly, Micah's friend. Why, it is enough to make me feel almost jealous. I fear I could never compete with that.
Oh, sorry. That's all right. I don't think we need to compete. We both care about her after all. And like they say, two heads are better than one.
They do say that.
What?
Whoa.
What?
I'm just
What?
saying they do say that. I just said they do say that.
yeah,
Guys, read your lines.
Okay.
Okay.
I think. Sorry, I'm sorry. I think Micah will recover much better if we're both there for her. What do you say?
I think after everything that has happened, I'm very tired. Would you mind escorting me to my room? I need to lie down.
Oh, of course. Let me help you to your feet, Micah. You should come too, Magdalena, and help me lift her. You're a lot stronger than me, so this should be easy for you.
Now that is funny.
What is?
I thought you would balk at the prospect of me touching your precious Micah.
In the past, perhaps I would have, but you've proven how much you care for her. You wouldn't have cried for her sake otherwise. Now come on, let's not beat around the bush. Micah needs us.
Yes, dear Lena, please. Please come and help me. Hen can support me on her own. I fear I'm hopelessly heavy. Don't keep your distance. Please. That would break my heart.
Magdalena looked between Micah and Henny, one hand clasped to her chest. She inhaled, her lips pursed, then said with a sigh, "Oh, Micah. I'm so glad to hear you say that." Yay! Everybody happy, everybody together. Yay!
Is this the end?
Magdalena stepped forth with Henny. I mean, knowing this thing, there's probably a whole extra chapter about them walking through the garden and talking about everything and unpacking everything and talking about everything Henny's gone through. And then we're talking about everything that happened as if we didn't read that already. Magdalena stepped forth, and with Henny's aid, not that it was necessary, she was able to raise Micah to her feet. Both women shifted her gently, so as not to harm her, each one taking one of Micah's pale arms about their shoulders. They're still fucking here? Nah.
Oh my God,
you know
bro.
what?
Oh my
No, bro. There we go. So, wait, I'm actually so curious. Why was he... Yeah. She said no desired gopping. Bitch, you're all yappers. You do have desire to gop. Hyde Marie crossed the area entrance hall, then pushed open the imposing double doors with a brush of her tiny, seemingly insubstantial palms. The doors opened with a low creak, like that of an injured animal, and the chill night air rushed forth to greet her. She paused for a few moments upon the threshold of the door to look back at Micah, who was being held aloft by Henny and Magdalena. Despite their differences, Hyde Marie thought the three women looked awfully close. Just like sisters? Shut the fuck.
What?
This thought brought a smile upon the young vampire's lips. Not even the lowing wind could disturb. She did not wait, however, to watch as the unlikely trio proceeded up the extravagant staircase. She turned anew, satisfied that she had performed her job, then stepped out into the night. Johann followed along behind her, limping, and the door shut behind him. The door creaked out once more, then slammed shut with a tremendous thud. This thud echoed through the cavernous hall of Magdalena's home, once deserted, but now full of life. Crystal's corpse still lay in her bedchamber, turning cold, but Magdalena's thoughts were with Micah as she held her, and Henny as she helped her. The night had been one of horrors, but Micah was still alive, as too was Magdalena's hope in the future. Maybe God had not forsaken her after all. Finally, the clouds in her heart had parted, and now she was free. Okay, working together, both Henny and Magdalena were able to escort Micah up the stairs, then across the hallway to her bedroom. Magdalena did not need Henny's help, but she appreciated the other woman's presence, if only because it let her know that Henny had accepted her. She seemed to have recognized, in the wake of Magdalena's breakdown, that Magdalena had grown to care for Micah. Magdalena might have been the instrument which had brought about Micah's suffering, but she had not done so willingly. Henny seemed to understand that, and by extending the olive branch, seemed prepared to offer her forgiveness. It no longer seemed to matter much what Magdalena had done to Micah, not when Micah was still alive. Henny and Magdalena both lay Micah up on her bed, and there she lay, her front dark with dried blood. Henny wet a cloth in the basin by Micah's bedside, then wiped said blood away. As she did, Magdalena soothed Micah. reassuring her.
Micah.
Wouldn't that be nice, though? Magdalena soothed Micah, reassuring her in gentle tones that all would be well. I won't let anything hurt you. Not again. I've no further need for your blood. My mistress, she... What did I tell you guys? They're gonna unpack it. They're gonna spend another hour unpacking. Here, Magdalena's voice caught in her throat, and she had to look away. She is... no more. No amount of blood could save her now. She's gone, but I'm still here. As are you, and... oh my God. I'm sorry I put you through so many hardships. I'm so sorry. Micah was half conscious at this point, soothed by the cool flannel upon her bare skin, and Magdalena's hand, so was barely able to offer Magdalena more than a small smile.
Oh, fuck. Wait a second. It's alright. I forgive you for all of it, Lena.
You do?
Of course I do. I know that you would never meant to... I know that you never meant for me to suffer. I might have hated you in the beginning. But really...
Micah yawned, exhausted, and let her eyelashes fall shut. Softly, she muttered in a voice which sounded like a sleepwalker's.
You're... a lot nicer than the credit you a lot nicer than you give yourself credit for.
So saying, Micah's consciousness slipped away once more, not owing to the pain this time, nor the loss of blood, but from simple exhaustion. She dozed, her body lighter than the fog which unfurled its wispy tendrils about the florist's floor, and she did, and as she did, she dreamed. In Micah's dreams, she saw herself with both Henny and Magdalena. The three of them were laughing. I would love that for all of them, really. But what the hell did Hyde Marie say? They look like sisters. What the hell? Why did they write that?
Bro, nothing good comes out of her mouth. Like,
The three of them were laughing and smiling in her mind's eye, as though they had been always close friends. Nothing more than three ordinary women. In Micah's imagining, there was nothing to keep her and Magdalena apart. Henny gave the pair of them their blessing, smiling gently, as Magdalena took her hand once more. Then, upon her pursed lips, she pressed a soft, gentle kiss. And it keeps going. While Micah lay in bed, tended to... it's just this fucking... This is how the entire novel has been to me. We've been playing this visual novel for like 2-3 months.
Oh.
oh, right.
While Micah lay in bed, tended to by both Magdalena and Henny, Johann had found himself in rather a precarious state. This ashen-faced father was always pale, yet now he looked paler than... Are we about to be sitting with them? Because I don't give a fuck about that. Sorry, I just like...
You guys think he's gonna die?
It seems like it.
I don't know. Wait, you think? He was
he just
fading, his
died.
body was
Why is
failing.
he saying that?
Yeah, oh, because
Thanks
he
for the
used his
follow.
life force to save
Shadow 101 has
Micah,
joined
and now
the
he's
Legion.
dying.
Unfortunately for Johann, his
Oh,
strength
rip.
had been in short supply for quite some time. Thank you for the follow, Shadow. He had spent the last 4 years working alongside Hyde Marie, and during these years he acted as her primary source of sustenance. Whenever Hyde Marie hungered for blood, which was not quite so often as many of her kind, given her advanced age and had whetted the worst of her appetite, she would turn to Johann. Johann's blood was quite unlike any Hyde Marie had tasted before. It was pure and it was rich, deeply nourishing, like a mug of hot cocoa served upon a sickbed. It was difficult
Okay,
for
it
her.
can't be that fucking good. Come on.
Hey, you never know. It was difficult for her, when she sank her teeth into Johann's pale neck, to stop, to regain her senses, to remember who she was. Perhaps it was because of... Okay, is he dying or not? That's the only reason why I'm reading this. Jesus
She's making him
fucking-
into a vampire. And then she's like,
Back then, Hyde Marie had not worried overly about Johann's own welfare. Johann, she had been more concerned about slaking her own thirst. Now, however... so, is she about
How do
to
I
turn
even
him?
make that sound?
Now, Hyde Marie could not help but feel a flicker of sympathy for the man who leaned against her. It seemed almost unthinkable that Johann would have been so low when he had sustained no physical wounds, none save for the twin punctures on his neck, the sided pinheads concealed beneath the high collar of his robes. Hyde Marie had seen Johann initially as nothing more than another handler, a convenient way of sourcing blood, yes, but mostly as a nuisance who existed to bind her. So, okay, the fact that they're investing so much time into these two, I have a theory that the writer also wanted to write a story for them and just decided to put them both in the same visual novel when, like, we didn't sign up for this at all. Like, at all. Like, we did not, like, this was not advertised in the slightest. In the early days of their meeting, their relationship had not been particularly cordial, but now... It's all right, Johann, I'm still here. Can you hear me? Now Hyde Marie felt far too attached. She not wanted to care for him, but what could she do? For all the centuries she had lived, he spoke to her like an equal. For a human, he could be awfully saucy. She enjoyed how much fight Johann possessed, how often he betrayed her expectations. He did so now, on the brink of collapse, a smile playing about his lips despite his rapidly weakening state. Ah, unfortunately, I can still hear you. My faculties have not deserted me. Not completely, at least. Blah, 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 blah,
Wait,
blah, blah.
I'm gonna go use the bathroom. real
Yeah,
quick.
go ahead. Do you think me incapable of caring about people, but I care about you? Well, really? Oh, I might be old, but blah, 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 blah. Wait, what did he say? I'm not immutable. I could still be moved, provided the right person come along to move me, that is. Oh, okay. I'm fond of you, which is why I don't want you to die here. I won't allow her. Do you hear that? If you do perish, I shall be very cross with you. Is that so? Once again, Johann laughed, but it was a weak laugh, one which made his sloping shoulders shake. My apologies, I will cling to life to my best abilities. I fear it might be too late, though. I am but a mere mortal. There's only so much I can endure. Yes, I know. Blah, blah, blah. Johann winced. His body seized a new paroxysm of pain. He shifted sideways. Wow. Okay. All right. And delaying the inevitable, but if you insist, sit for a while. He smiled, he sits, he doesn't want to make her worry, blah, 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 blah. Always worry about you. How do you stand it? Let me see. I suppose I can live like this, blah, blah, blah. How do you stand being human? Envy is a sin. Oh my god, these fucking yappers, bro. Why the fuck has this not ended already? We had an ending. Why do just make a separate visual novel for these two? Why the fuck are we here? Sorry. Yeah, Cece, I know, right?
Yeah, but you.
Are we friends? I would not consider you an enemy. And I'm fond of you, blah, blah, blah. Would suck to think of what would happen to you if I die. Blah, blah, blah. I don't trust another to keep an eye
he's a
on
vampire
you.
now?
I don't know. No, I don't think she did that.
Oh.
Doesn't want her to go mad. Feels like he's her only friend, I guess. She took a step forth.
Hey.
Wait, so is she about to turn him? Well, I've no particular desire to die. That seems like a poor way of repaying the church for taking me in. That completely contradicts the fact that he's a priest, though. Why would he want to be turned? What the fuck is going on?
Shouldn't he just accepted his fate?
No, he's basically saying, yeah, go ahead, turn me into a vampire. I don't want you to be alone.
Yeah. What?
What the frick? What his belief is that condemns, that like gives us eternal condemnation. What? That doesn't make any sense at all.
So if they're both vampires, like, are they just also gonna just feed on animals like Magdalena?
I have no fucking clue. What? That doesn't make any. What the fuck? What the fuck are we doing?
Can we just skip all this?
Wickedly, she smiled. I guess she's gonna bite him, and then he fucking. Why did we have to? Oh my fucking god! What is going? I'm sorry. I'm getting like actually so frustrated because
I
it's
we
like
get a shot.
Magdalene's.
We get a shot of 3 of them.
Yeah, yeah. At least we're back here. Michael lay unconscious for 2 days, tucked up in her bed, while Henny and Magdalena tended to her. Drained from her brush with death, she drifted, unaware of how tightly Magdalena held her hand through her convalescing. Micah knew not, as she slumbered, that Magdalena sat beside her, praying to a god she did not believe in for her safety. But when she finally awoke, shaking off her exhaustion as a duck ruffles its feathers free from water, she soon learned of the anxiety her slumber had caused. It was early in the morning when Micah opened her eyes. It was cloudy and overcast, and the only weak rays of sunlight could spill through the moth-eaten holes in the fabric, all pale and washed out thanks to the bower of clouds which hung in the sky. Henny sat at a chair by Micah's side, and when she saw Micah's eyelashes flutter, she cried. Henny.
Oh, so.
It's okay.
You're good.
Oh, Micah. My Micah. I'm so relieved.
Henny.
Micah looked at Henny askance. Her head was pounding fit to burst, and her thoughts, which were far too numerous, seemed to weigh heavily upon her, like rocks. Weak though the sunlight was, it stung her eyes, and she winced. The pain which had pierced her following Heidemarie's attack had vanished, but now she ached all over. Her arms and legs felt horribly leaden. These aches, at least, reassured Micah that Henny's anxious face was not a fabrication of her addled imagination. This could not be a dream, for she felt too uncomfortable. It took a considerable amount of effort for Micah to sit up in bed. She winced as she did so, and Henny had to lean in to aid her.
Careful, Micah. Don't push yourself now. You really have been through the wars. Oh yes, how could I forget?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, sorry. I'm also zoned out a little bit here.
Yes. Oh, I apologize. I'll try to be more careful.
Yes, you do that. I'd hate for your wounds to reopen. Though come to think of it, I'm not entirely sure if that's possible. Johan did quite the thorough job. There aren't scars. I can't even see bruises. You don't look like you were injured at all. It must have really been a miracle.
A miracle, hmm? It must have been. He is a priest, after all.
Micah looked down at herself. She's wearing the same nightgown Magdalena had bequeathed to her, but the tear, which had rent in the middle of it, had been sewn up. The stitches were neat, the thread white, so it was hard to tell from a distance any damage had been done to it at all. Micah recognized this neat needlework, and he must have fixed this gown for her as she slept. Her maid was really dutiful down to the smallest of details. Micah placed one hand to her chest, trembling as she did so. She still remembered what had happened, exhausted though she was.
Did Yoan's powers also take away the bloodstains?
I guess
Is
so.
he just that powerful?
Yeah. She'd
Yeah.
come between Hadmarie and Magdalena, and as she was skewered for her best efforts, her blood splattering all across the coppered hall like spilled wine. The pain was not something she could forget in a hurry. Wincing, Micah looked away, and in doing so saw Magdalena. Magdalena was sitting beside Henny, her pale eyelashes closed, her lips pursed in silent slumber. Her hands rested upon her lap, and her head hung forwards, like that of a doll's. She was quite motionless, despite the weak sunlight which played about her pale skin, and her even paler hair.
Oh, Lena.
Micah sighed, then turned to Henny, desperately seeking reassurance.
She isn't ill, is she?
Huh?
Henny glanced at Magdalena, as though seeing her for the first time, then frowned.
If she is ill, it's with nothing more than worry. You needn't fuss so. She's fine. At least, as far as an undead being can be fine. She's just sleeping, and I don't blame her for it. She's been sitting at your side ever since we brought you up here. She's not had a single wink of sleep all this time. Not to mention she dropped off a few hours earlier.
Really?
Micah's face flushed, touched at Magdalena's thoughtfulness.
She cares for me that much?
Ever so much. Her actions made it blindingly obvious. I'll admit, I didn't think much of her at first. Can you blame me, after all she put you through? But my opinion of her's really turned around. I didn't think vampires could be so caring, but it's as plain as day that she adores you. She was beside herself when you collapsed. She looked like a woman who'd lost her will to live. She fell onto the ground and then, well...
Henny shook her head, then smiled.
Why are you asking about Magdalena, Micah? After all you've been through, shouldn't you be more concerned about yourself?
Maybe I should. But I worry regardless. I know I have to care for me, and I have you to care for me, Hen. And you do a wonderful job at it. Believe me. But Lena, she hasn't had anybody to care for her for a long time. For a long, long time. She's been all on her own. That's why I have to worry about her. Nobody else will.
My. You must like her an awful lot. Though, I suppose you would have leapt to her defense if you didn't. You wouldn't have leapt to her defense if you didn't. You were just like a knight back then, Micah. You were just missing the sword and the shining armor. And the dignity.
And-
Oh, wait. Sorry.
And the dignity.
Micah smiled thinly.
Is it my line?
Mm-hmm.
I caused quite a scene back then, as my mother might say. But I was so afraid I wasn't sure what else I was supposed to do. I could only think of helping Lena. But now I fear my rashness has hurt her.
Sorry. She's been in a bad way, I won't deny it. But the blame for that can't be laid wholly at your feet. I think she's been upset about the young mistress of hers too, and it was death. It was all... what? I think she's been upset about the young mistress of hers too, and her death. It was all very sudden. She hasn't had nearly enough time to get to grips with it. Why, it's almost enough to make me feel sorry for her. After all. And all this after she kidnapped you. I think she's quite the sorry creature herself.
Her mistress?
Micah's brow furrowed. She could remember her own agony clearly, but the events which led up to her chest being cleaved were less lucid. Her thoughts were all disordered, like an unfinished jigsaw puzzle, and trying to slot every piece into its rightful place seemed almost like an impossibility. She thought she could recall, however, a faint memory which had imprinted itself upon her mind. She could remember the stench of blood. Henny had come to her bedroom while she had been in her nightgown and bade her to escape. Taking her hand, Henny had led through the hallway, Micah's bare feet pounding against the floor. Together, the two women had passed a large bedroom, a storage jar, and upon the bed Micah had seen. Okay, let me see that again. Micah winced, then pressed a hand to her mouth. Yes, she could still remember that. Is it just me, or does this not look like the proportions of a child? Like
Yeah, I
a
was thinking
5-year-old child? That's why I was
Mary
confused.
looks younger than her.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really confused about this drawing, to be honest. Yeah, she could still remember that. Micah let her eyes fall upon Magdalena once more, who continued to sleep. As Magdalena had no need for air, she slept quite soundlessly. Her chest did not rise, and neither did her eyelids tremble. In sleep, she really did look like a doll, one which was devoid of life.
Her mistress.
Her mistress.
I'm sorry, I don't know what's wrong with me right now.
No, it's fine. Her mistress wasn't that young girl we saw. Was she?
That's right. Magdalena talked to me a bit about her circumstances while we were both tending to you. But if you want to know more about her, you'd be best served asking her. I'm afraid I wouldn't be able to explain everything properly. It's awful complicated. Oh, but look here now.
Henny glanced at Magdalena, then drew back.
She's beginning to stir. All our talk must have disturbed her.
What? True to Henny's words, Magdalena was starting to shift. Her pale eyelashes fluttered, still drowsy from sleep. Her once still chest, meanwhile, rose and fell in a parody of breathing. It was unnecessary, of course, being undead. Magdalena had no need to breathe, but it must have been an instinctive action, something which only ceased when Magdalena's consciousness did.
I think I'll make myself scarce for now, Micah. I'm sure you've a lot you'd like to talk about with Magdalena, and I'm sure she has a lot she'd like to talk about with you. She wouldn't stop talking about you, you know, while you were unconscious. I was starting to worry she's even more devoted than I am.
Henny withdrew, laughing softly as she did, but before she left the room, she paused to say,
I'll be back to check on you later. I'm just glad for the present to know that you're all right. I was really worried about you, Micah.
The door closed behind Henny with a thud, leaving both Micah and Magdalena alone together. Magdalena was sitting up now, her red eyes wide, and with a sigh of relief exclaimed, Micah. Oh, Micah, you're awake. Are you all right? Aw. Micah began, a response half formed upon her lips, but she hadn't the time to fully formulate it before Magdalena flew to her. Micah felt flattered at Magdalena's affections, and she wanted to relax into her hug, but... Project into the mic a little bit more.
Ow. Sorry.
It just didn't come through her. Micah tensed. Pain began to ripple through her, her every nerve ending on fire. Feeling Micah shudder and hearing her gasp of pain, Magdalena drew stiffly back, abashed. If Magdalena had possessed the ability to blush, her face would surely have turned pink. Oh, I'm sorry, Micah. I apologize. I was just so relieved. I've been watching you ever since you collapsed. For the last 2 days or so, I've barely slept at all.
I know you have. And he told me.
Oh, she did she? Magdalena pouted. I don't have expected that she would take the wind from my sails. That maid of yours is such a busybody. She was lecturing me, to take better care of myself, as though I'm not a near immortal creature who has been alive for more than a century. She talked to me like I was a hopeless young girl, or maybe...
A weak human like me.
Yes, that's right. Though, I don't think you're weak at all, Micah. It was very brave of you to come between me and Hydebury like that. Though it was also very, very foolish.
Well, I can see that now. It didn't occur to me at that time, though.
What did occur to you then? Pray tell.
Only that I wanted to protect you.
Protect me? Magdalena smiled, bemused, and shook her head. The sentiment is sweet, but you need protecting far more than I do. Now more so than ever before. I'm starting to think it's no wonder that maid of yours is such a fusspot, having a mistress like you to deal with. Looking after you would turn anybody into an anxious wreck. I do wish she hadn't lectured me so, though. But I suppose she meant well by it.
And he always does. She's a sweetheart. She always watched me. She's always watched out for me ever since we were children.
I could tell when I watched her tend to you. Her concern was palpable. It made me a little jealous, I must admit, to see another fuss over you so, and to know that she was the one alert when you finally did awake. I wish to be the first person you see when you regained consciousness, but my foolish body betrayed me. I might be undead, but even I need my beauty rest.
Yes. Yes, you do. You haven't been getting nearly enough of it. The bags under your eyes are frightfully dark.
Oh, Micah. Magdalena smiled bashfully. Do you mean to admonish me too? I've been getting earfuls of it from that maid of yours already. You can rest assured. I've seen the error of my ways. My caring for you might, I admit, have been too effusive. But how can I not worry when you mean so much to me? I was terrified for your sake. Humans are much too delicate for your own good. Magdalena brushed her fingertips against Micah's cheek, tracing the contours of her face. You really must be more careful in the future. If you were to sicken or to get hurt, it would destroy me. Especially with Henrique fussing over you so much. I started to feel distinctly like a third wheel.
Lena.
Micah smiled, touched by Magdalena's concern, and let her fingers rest upon Magdalena's.
Don't tell me you're too horribly jealous of Henny. She's only a friend.
I know that, yet it hurts nonetheless to know she loves you so. Not that I can blame her. I mean, who wouldn't love you, really, when you're so eminently lovable?
I think you're exaggerating.
Hardly. There's a lot to commend you for, though your intelligence might not be on the top of that list. Here, Magdalena smiled, as did Micah. The two women shared laughter, soft and pattering like falling rain. Micah's subdued by the ache in her chest, which had yet to fully shift. Once their laughter had passed, and Micah had reassured Magdalena that yes, she was all right, and no, her unexpected embrace didn't hurt, not that much at least, Micah then dared to ask the question which had been playing upon her mind since she had awoken.
I was just wondering. When Henny tried to run away with me last night, or maybe it was the night before, I don't remember. My head is all a jumble. We passed an open bedroom. And inside, well, I saw a girl shackled to a bed, lying in the shadows. I didn't get a good look at her, but she seemed very young.
And she had been very dead.
I don't want to pry, and this might be a peculiar question, but was that small girl your mistress?
What happened to showing, not telling? Like, very obviously. Like, why are we doing this? Silence descended between the pair following this question. Micah glanced at Magdalena from beneath her eyelashes, and Magdalena glanced back, her face deadly pale. For a while, Magdalena was quiet, her lips pursed. Then, after heaving a small sigh, she spoke. Yes, so it comes back to this. That girl, I thought you might ask about her, and for a good reason. She was, indeed, my mistress, and she really was a poor thing. My mistress's name, that poor creature, she was called Christelle. Though perhaps she had no need of that title after she was turned. Names are a courtesy only humans are granted, while she might have looked like a person, but any humanity she might have once had was stolen from her a long time ago. She couldn't talk. I'm unsure whether she could even think beyond thirsting for blood. She was less a girl than a force of danger. She was always hungry, and she was angry alongside it. It wasn't always that way, though. Crystal used to be a sweet young girl, though I can scarcely believe it myself. She changed so much, but it wasn't her fault. She didn't ask for any of this to happen, and neither did I. It was all very unfortunate.
What happened?
Micah posited this question quietly, her pale eyes upturned.
Would you mind telling me how you and Crystal came to be vampires? And how come you served her? How you came to serve her for many years? It's fine if you wish to keep it to yourself, but there's just so much about you I don't know. I want to get to know you better, Lena. I know I won't be able to undo the past, but talking about it might help. Unless you think I'm being presumptuous and asking too much of you.
No, it's fine. I don't think you're overstepping your boundaries. How could you, after all we've done together? You know so much about me already. Spilling a few more of my secrets could hardly hurt at this point. But I'm not entirely sure where to begin.
What the fuck? At the start, maybe? She's so smart, bro.
With my birth to a poor yet happy family in Innigan, or of little note or consequence? Oh, as I go very far back indeed. More than a century ago. I would only get sentimental if I started to talk of my mother and father. Not that I could cry over them even if I wanted to, so I think I'll spare you all of that. I think I'll begin instead at... Let's see. Maybe it would be best to commence with my tale of the first time I met Christelle. Magdalena shifted in an attempt to make herself a touch more comfortable before beginning her tale in earnest. I was only 15 years old at that time, and naive for my age. Perhaps I was too young to work, but my parents needed the money, and girls younger than I often went into service. It's not so very different now, or so I've gathered after speaking to Henrique.
Does that mean you were a maid?
Indeed, I was. I was a maid, and I worked in this mansion years and years prior for Crystal's family, the von Schlieffens. That was before this house had fallen into rack and ruin, for the hallways were thick with dust, for the air reeked of death. I was young and fresh-faced, and Crystal... She was not yet 3 years old when I began to work here. And during my employment, I watched her grow. What the frick? She wasn't particularly pretty, bless her, and she was horribly shy. She used to shrink away from the other maids, but she had a soft spot for me. She would sit with me while I was cleaning sometimes, though her parents had warned her against it, and I would try to cheer her up. She was neglected by her parents. When they spoke to her, it was only to chastise her, and she didn't have any friends of her own age to play with, nor any siblings. I think she was lonely. That must have been why she sought out my company. I was one of the younger maids who had worked for the von Schlieffens, and I tried to pay her special attention. She rarely smiled around anybody else, but my silly stories and jokes were able to make her laugh. Gee, what the what is such an odd thing to say about a child? She wasn't pretty, like I said. Once again, she was ugly as fuck. Like, that kid was fucking ugly. Like, actually,
And did I mention she has no friends?
That was the most disgusting child I've ever seen. And she had no fucking friends. And she stunk. Like, she stunk like shit. But when she smiled, Magdalena sighed, and then she shook her head. I wanted so badly to protect her smile. I had 2 younger sisters of my own, and Crystal reminded me of them. I suppose I've always been protective, and I took it upon myself to look out for her. Eventually, even her aloof parents took notice of their daughter's attachment to me, and they decided to make me Crystal's nursemaid. Crystal hadn't gotten along very well with her previous nursemaids. She had been sullen and sulky with them, and sometimes she even bit them. Perhaps I was a portent for what was later to come. But I can't blame Crystal for lashing out. She was constantly being pushed around at the whim of others. As a lady yourself, I imagine you must know how it must have felt, rattling around in this empty house or on her lonesome.
Yes, I can imagine it. My childhood was the same, though I never bit anybody. I used to climb the trees in the garden, though. I used to climb the trees in the garden, though, and pick the blackberries in the summer. And once I sneaked into my family's mausoleum. My mother was furious with me. I knew she would be. But I did it all the same.
Why is this like the only event in her life that she remembers?
Right.
We've gone over this memory like 4 times. We get it. You snuck into the mausoleum
more
and
than
your
4
mother was
times.
pissed at you and then she beat Henny up. Like, we get it. Like, this is like your only fucking memory.
I think I was tired of listening to her all the time. It was stifling.
I suspect it was the same for Crystal. This house. Magdalena gestured about the Micah's bedroom. At its high ceiling and the wide window with the drawn curtains, so the grey garden could be seen. Through which the grey garden could be seen. It might be large, but it's lacking in warmth. It was cold even then, when it was full of people. It was nothing more than a cage. Crystal couldn't stand it. In fact, I think she rather despised it. She was at her happiest when the two of us were walking through the garden, hand in hand, and she could be free of the servants and her parents and all her guests. Crystal and I became so close I would even accompany her to when her parents attended luncheons or soirees further afield in Augsburg and beyond. The von Schlieffens are well known, and they were very much in demand. If they didn't have half of Bavaria staying here, they would be paying visits to nobility all across the country. These near-constant festivities occurred for 3 years until an unfortunate event put paid to them quite quickly. Magdalena paused now, one hand resting at the base of her throat. Her expression was pensive, her brow furrowed, and it took her a few moments before she gathered the thread of her tale once more. It was a dark and stormy night. Don't these stories often start like that? When it happened, the von Schlieffens were returning home to visiting a normal family in Regensburg, I think. It has been so very long I don't remember. The von Schlieffens didn't take Crystal with them when they went on their excursions, but I believe that they had stayed with these people for over a week of festivities. Perhaps it was a special occasion, maybe a wedding. I was ordered to come with them to keep an eye on Crystal, who was too young for dancing and drinking. I remember the carriage was wending its way through the forest. It was cold. It was a forest. Crystal had fallen asleep and was laying her head upon my lap. I was trying to stay awake myself, but I was beginning to doze. It was well past midnight when I was tired, and we had been traveling for hours and hours. A handful of other servants had come with us to attend the von Schlieffens, but they were in a different carriage. We were almost at our house home, or at least I think we were when it happened. Magdalena's expression darkened, her fingers clenching into fists upon her lap. When we were attacked in the forest, not by bandits as you were, but by something much more sinister. It all happened so quickly, I wasn't entirely sure what happened. It was only later, with the gift of hindsight, that I can say what must have occurred. It was a vampire. He must have been desperate, attacking a carriage full of people with impunity. 2 carriages, in fact, but I suppose I knew humans would be no match for them, no matter how many there were. Perhaps they were desperate then, but lashed out solely because they could, because it amused them to do so. I have no idea, I cannot say. It happened so quickly I never saw the faces of the creature who attacked us, not for more than a few moments. I don't even know if they were a man or a woman. All I know is that at one point the carriage was wending its way through the woods, unmolested, and the next...
Molested.
Magdalena's voice trailed off, while her fingernails sank into her thighs. She inhaled, perhaps getting her nerve, and scattered thoughts before saying, I knew something was wrong when I woke up. I hadn't thought I would ever wake again. I was in so much pain. The darkness had seemed absolute when I fainted, but then I soon realized this was not the case. I was laying upon the forest floor among the strewn scattered leaves like a discarded doll. My head hurt, and so did my limbs. There was an awful taste in my mouth, and I think I vomited. I don't remember. I do remember feeling something was wrong, though, that I wasn't myself. I pressed a finger to my neck, and I found 2 monks which perforated my skin. That shook me, but even then, what happened didn't fully register until I pressed my fingers to the inside of my wrist. I thought I was being silly, fantasizing maybe. I had always been one to get swept up in my own daydreams until I realized I didn't have a pulse. My skin was cold to the touch and hard. It felt like marble. That was when I realized, though I had opened my eyes and appeared to live on, I was not the same Magdalena as I once had been, and I wasn't really alive either. I was dead. I didn't need to breathe, and my heart didn't beat, but I could still think and sit up and walk. It was quite the shock, but I came to terms with it more quickly than you might think. I had come to terms with it lying in the middle of the forest as I was. I had no other choice. Okay. I looked around and found the carriage. Their bodies were mangled. They were dead, properly dead, unlike me. The other servants had traveled, been similarly dispatched. Some were in one piece, but others had been butchered. I suppose it's the only word for it. Bits of them were strewn everywhere. But why I had been bitten so cleanly, I know not. If my assailant had torn me apart like they had the others, I doubt I would have been able to sit back up again. But never mind that. No good will come of trying to understand the motives of the attacker. I don't know why they attacked us or why they spared me, in a sense. It was probably a whim. I was the only one who survived this assault either, though I wish I wasn't the only one who survived this assault either, though I wish I was. I found her laying upon the forest floor, unconscious, her arms and legs bent at broken angles. I thought she was dead, but when I reached out to feel her pulse shifted, that was when I knew. Crystal had died, but she was still alive. She had turned, and she was only 6 years old. Magdalena winced at this, and she reached for her chest. There, her fingers twisted, as though seeking to wrench out her own heart, which no longer beat. I was able to retain much of my rationality after I was turned into a vampire, but my young mistress was less fortunate. The sweet, shy, stubborn girl I knew had vanished when she woke up. She lost all sense of right or wrong, and knew nothing save her own insatiable lust for blood. Her desire was so intense, and it overwhelmed all her other senses. She could no longer talk upon waking, could no longer smile. She was out of control. I did not realize, however, until I took her back home. We made it back before the first rays of sun rose, with me carrying Crystal on my back. She had been half asleep as I carried her, and had been docile enough, but she changed when we returned to her old abode. There were still servants who resided there, to upkeep the place with the von Schlieffen's brief absence, and Crystal, Magdalena grit her teeth together. I couldn't stop her. I didn't expect it of her. I had no idea she was capable of such cruelty. I soon learned that I had erred in my judgment, however, when she tore her way through the servants who had resided there. She slipped into their quarters, quicker and swifter than a cat, and she made short work of them. She murdered all the scullery maids in their beds, and the housekeeper and the footmen. By the time I'd caught her, it was too late. She'd murdered dozens of servants, and she was dripping with gore. Chunks of flesh beneath her nails and her hair, and the smell. Magdalena pressed one hand to her mouth. But the worst part about it was the expression on Crystal's face as she carried out these atrocities. She didn't look aghast at her actions, but she didn't seem particularly euphoric either. Her face was just blank, like a slate, and completely empty. Killing didn't seem to rouse any particularly strong emotions within her, but she killed all the same because it was what her instincts told her to do. Like a rabid animal, she knew nothing save attacking. She bore her fangs and her claws as she killed them. All of them. The servants' quarters looked like a scene from hell itself, and the blood. I'm ashamed to admit that I found this smell quite enticing, but the horror of it all helped me resist. I was no longer human, but I still possessed my sense of morals. I didn't want to behave as Crystal was. She was a child and had an excuse, but I was an adult. I knew better. I told myself I would act better, too. I knew I couldn't reintroduce Crystal to polite society, or any society as she was. I was afraid she would harm anybody she came across, so I decided to bind her aside, to her bed, to stop her from causing any further chaos. Then I devoted myself to finding victims for her, so she would not starve. I had hoped animal blood would be enough to satiate her, but she turned her nose up at it. She would only drink the blood of humans, and it had to be fresh. I had no choice but to kill on her behalf, to sustain her, but I tried to do so without drawing too much attention to ourselves. I've been looking after Crystal for the last century. While Crystal slept, I had a lot of free time, and with it I taught myself to read and how to ride. How would you teach yourself how to read? I made use of all the books in the library the von Schlieffens had left behind, and with this knowledge I fashioned myself into a lady of sorts. After being a maid for so many years, I think I wanted to act a little more important than I really was. I suppose part of me believed I deserved to act thus, being a vampire. I was stronger now, after all, than any human could ever dream of being. It was quite a rush, I admit, when I slew my first victim for Crystal's sake. I need this fucking visual novel to end, bro. Thrilling almost to bring down a grown man with such ease. Part of me took a delight. I am a vampire now. I have a lot of guilt about it, and I kill for my mistress. I, meanwhile, gad about as though I am worth more than I am, as though I am a real lady. A lady? Magdalena scoffed, though it was without any humor. Though her lips were pulled into a grim and fast smile of a smile, her eyes were dark and joyless. I could never be a lady like you, Micah. I wasn't born into nobility. I'm just a hapless maid playing pretend, but no, I'm not even that. I'm a monster. A murderer. I have no right to act with all these airs and graces as though I'm so much better than anybody else. I have no right to be alive at all.
Oh, Lena.
All right, guys. This stream has to end in 20 minutes, and I really want this novel to be done in 20 minutes. I really want this novel to be done in 20 minutes. Micah sighed thus. Or actually, no, it has to be done in like 10. Micah sighed thus, once Magdalena had finished speaking. She looked at her companion with gentle, compassionate eyes and then reached forth. Taking one of Magdalena's gloved hands in her own, she squeezed and said,
Do you want me to read it, or do you just want to skip over it?
Sure. All right, they're having a little moment. I kidnapped you. How can you forgive me? Well, you warned me, and I forgive you, and you all didn't mean to do it. She's lucky to have a mistress like
Let's
you.
kiss again.
Blah, 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 blah. Jesus. Fuck. Oh my god. Okay, I'm really so upset that I was right. Because then I joked to you guys. You said, oh, is it done? I said, watch, there's going to be another hour of them unpacking everything. Okay, all right. Yes. I know you care about me. Okay. I know you wish
Let's kiss. One more kiss, come on.
Michael leaned in, then pressed her other hand to Magdalena's cheek. Cupping it gently, her fingers splayed, she then said,
I love that. Even
so
if you
the
can't forgive yourself, I can.
She's saying, I know you didn't wish to cause me undue harm.
To skip, bro.
I forgive you. Do you really mean that? Micah nodded. I don't hate you, Lena. Mm-hmm. If I'm being honest, I don't think I deserve your kindness. I like you too. Wait, hold up. Your feelings are your own. If you like me as much as you say you do, then I suppose I'll have to accept it. I don't really understand it, but blah, blah, blah. I like you too, Micah. Oh, Lena. Micah. Micah leant in closer still, the inches of space which parted her and Magdalena's diminishing with each millisecond. There came a brief pause about for a second, like the gap between seeing and hearing a bolt of lightning, as both women stared at one another. They swallowed, as though in unison. Then they shifted. Another kiss. What's up? What's going on with the scenery?
Picture, bro.
It's the same picture, but then there's like this random storminess.
PowerPoint.
It was Micah who moved first, but soon Magdalena followed her lead. Bridging the infinitesimally short space between them, they parted their lips and pressed their mouths together. It was a soft, gentle, tender kiss, different from the one they had shared before, after Magdalena had drained Decca of her blood. This was a kiss born not from fear that soon their acquaintance would end, but from hopes, tentative though they were, for the future. The kiss lasted only for a few moments, but might have endured for longer, had both women not been interrupted by the sound of a startled gasp. Oh, I think that might be Doobie.
Penny.
Oh my!
Micah and Magdalena pulled away, Micah blushing abashedly to glance over at the doorway. There Henny stood, her eyes frozen, and she's shocked. We get it. Micah had half a mind to try and make excuses to tell Henny that things were not as they looked, but she hadn't a chance to get out the words. Henny was already beginning to babble.
I do beg your pardon, Micah. I didn't mean to walk in on you. If you're otherwise engaged, I can leave. I hate to intrude, I can tell when I'm not wanted.
What? No, Henny. Come here. Join us. Micah frowned, her perplexity overcoming her embarrassment. Of course you're wanted. I'm always happy to see you. You don't need to apologize.
Oh.
Come here, sweet Henny.
Are you sure? It seemed like the pair of you two are rather busy. Not that I can blame you for it. You've not had a chance to be alone in quite a while, and I'm sure Magdalena is pleased to see that you've recovered. It's only natural that you'd want to celebrate, though I must admit I'm somewhat surprised to discover how close you two are. That isn't to say I'm judging for it, though. I'm happy, in fact.
You know what I just realized? I forgot that Lush was Micah.
I thought you just wanted to, like, get it over with.
Okay, so here's my pitch. Let's improv that they all get together and this is polyamorous.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every line where she says something like, Henny, no, you're my friend. We're gonna improv. No, Henny, join.
Okay. Okay, let's do that.
All right, here you go.
Where did Henny end up?
Henny said, that isn't to say I'm judging you for it, though. I'm happy, in fact.
You are?
Of course. I think it is a wonderful thing that you care for Magdalena so much. It doesn't matter to me that she's a woman, or even that she's a vampire. I find it really hard. You've always been such an individual, Micah.
It makes sense that only an unusual person could win your heart. Not that I mean to insult you, of course.
That's alright. I know I must be awfully unusual in the eyes of you humans. I cannot blame you at being surprised at Micah's, how shall we term them? Magdalena smiled, her eyes crinkling. Affections, let's say, towards me. In fact, I'm rather surprised at it myself. I did not think when I first imprisoned her we would ever become so close. She's rather unique, though, as far as young ladies go. She's not all like the prim and prissy young madam I once believed her to be.
Oh yes, my Micah's always been unique. She used to get into all sorts of scrapes when she was young. Her mother would almost hit the roof. She would at some of her stunts.
I can well imagine. Magdalena tittered, then glancing to Micah, began to toy with a few loose locks of her hair. Where you go, naughty girl?
You can say that again, sorry, I ruined it.
Were you a naughty girl, Micah? Tell me, honey, was she naughty?
Yes.
Yes.
It's a very, very naughty girl indeed.
Okay, I guess that's the new line. Yes, you had mentioned you've been very naughty. Your mother sounded rather overbearing, however. Yes, she was overbearing. We're talking about the mommy issues. Wouldn't mind to bury my child, Henny. What do you think of this? Do you think that if I try hard enough, I could get Micah pregnant? Henny? Henny?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Oh my god!
I think Johan might be able to help.
Mommy issues.
No, actually though, maybe if they like prayed really hard. Maybe if Johan prayed really hard.
Wait, hold up. So what's the context for this? That is something I can concur with at least. You've no need for a fiance now, not when you have me. And Henny.
A wife.
Oh, oh my.
Henny's face, which had begun to cool during the indictment of Walter Gerhardt, now began to color anew.
The pair of you are certainly close, aren't you? That kiss ought to have given it away, I suppose, but, well,
Oh,
let's all kiss and make out now.
Aren't you and Micah close as well? Why don't you join us?
Yes, we are. We should join. Let's get in on this. Some sexy threesome action.
It's just Henny over-explaining that she's not homophobic. Oh, I know, Henny. I know. I've seen the way you look at Micah. I'm very familiar with that look. And you needn't exclude yourself from our festivities. Join us now. Okay, and then it's, you know what? Jesus fucking Christ. Wait, does she say I love you? I've been alone for a very long time, but Micah's still in my heart. It isn't much of a heart, of course, given it no longer beats, but for what it's worth, my feelings are sincere. I really do love you, Micah. And I love anyone who loves you. I want you to just be full of so much love in your life. I'm very glad to hear
I want to be full with something else.
Your relationship might raise a few concerns. I mean, I don't know. Why can't two women be in love?
Why can't three women be in love?
Why can't three women be in love? Oh my god, what are they talking about?
Fuck, hard.
Right now? Are they talking about Walter? What the
Fuck
fuck?
Walter.
We actually have like, okay, so are you just telling me Act 4 is not going to end in 3 minutes?
Probably.
Oh my
Maybe
god.
I should fucking kissing in 3, 2,
You guys can, like,
1.
continue without me. I don't mind.
Yeah, that's true, but I kind of
No, you have to join, Henny. What are you saying?
What if you could be Henny? Surely.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's it? They were just yapping till the end? No, like, dramatic climax or anything?
No dramatic climax, no dramatic art.
Yay.
Man.
All right, guys, we did it. They had a threesome.
Okay.
Yay.
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 Wow, what do you guys think?
Everybody's saying thank fucking God. All right, guys, that means that we finally have finished this visual novel. I think it probably would be smart for us to take a little break from Yuri lunch so we can rest and like just have a moment.
100 we endured.
We endured. Thank you, Zenta, for the bits. Thank you.
Oh my god.
But yeah, then we'll be able to do Eclipse. Oh my god, guys. Wait, I think I owe you 3 more barks. There we go. But yeah, we'll be able to finally do Eclipse at some point. I still have to organize the rest of the voice actors, but at least I know now that they can finally start to be on call. And yay! Yay! Yippee! Yippee! Epilogue. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking joking me, mate? Epilogue? No.
Well,
Oh my fucking god.
Paris, they're in Paris.
All right. Well, Doobie has to go. We can maybe skip through this epilogue just to see what happened. But
I gotta bounce.
Thank you so much, Doobie. Thank you so much for being here. Have a good dinner. Have a good night.
Yes, thank you. Talk soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh my god, this long ass.
I hope I made a great impression on her, bro.
I think so. I mean, I think Doobie already likes you. All right. They're in Paris. Oh, they can be gay in Paris because in Paris, it's
give me your baguette now.
Hard. Here you are, young mademoiselle, and do keep the change. It's well deserved, for these flowers are so very beautiful. She gets some flowers from Micah. What is she saying? In exchange, would you mind giving me the finest bloom for my fair lady? Something which would set off her lovely red hair and her lovely blue eyes. I want my lady to look her best. Oh yes. It's voilà. That's français.
Wow.
Oh, Henny! She came
bro,
in,
they
she's
couldn't
carrying
get
all
Henny
their
a new
stuff.
fucking dress.
Why is Henny carrying their stuff?
Why is she still in a maid dress,
Liberate her from her mateship. Why is she still a fucking mate? Why not raise her to your status? She's your friend. Oh my fucking god. Oh my flipping fluck. Okay, blah 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 blah. Okay, I want to see kiss. I want to see kiss. I want to see French kiss. Blah 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 blah.
Oh, whoa, hello.
Oh,
they didn't have to do Henny like that. They could have included her in a little bit.
Oh my god, they really just want her to be a servant girl. God, but they do look so cute. Look at Magdalena and her little masculine swag and her femme. Aww. So cute. After all, I have you, and I'm so in love with you. Blah blah blah. They're so in love. They're so in love. Yay!
Micah looks like she has some color in her skin now. She looks more lively.
Yeah. All right.
Bleep, bloop, bloop.
Yay! Oh, and we're seeing credits again. Okay. Yay! All right, chat.
Wow. That was kind of
so
exhausting.
sweet. Now turn it off. Somebody in chat said. All right, chat.
Guys, Eclipse will be better for us.
Yeah, I actually did play. I had to play Eclipse because I had to make sure I know which actors are in what scenes so I can organize it. And I really like Eclipse. I mean, I think with all pretty much well, we've only played one other visual novel here, but it seems like other visual novels tend to have a little bit better pacing. And the pacing on this one was just, oh god, incredibly long. I kind of want to see if we're the only ones who feel this way. Maybe we only feel this way because we're reading it out loud. I wonder what the reviews say. The reviews are very positive. People like this quite a lot. Let's see. Oh, somebody did review and say the writing is bad. Very unfortunate, as the premise was interesting, but can't lower the bar this low just because it's a sapphic story. Does anyone mention the weird priest thing? That one stream we did, I think it was the last stream we did. I really enjoyed that one, and I think that was when the story honestly peaked for me. I think honestly the ending was just not handled very great. I think they either should have ended it once everything, like the whole climax was resolved, or if they continued, it shouldn't have been so much unpacking. It should have just been like them being in love and kissing in bed, if you want to give a little extra Yuri. But it just went on so goddamn long. The story needs to be restructured. Not even an hour in, I found myself completely restructuring the events and sentences to create a better flow within the story. Yeah.
Can I be honest? I don't even know what happened in the end. I was just reading my lines and spacing out.
Yeah, I was starting to space out too. Not recommended. God, you ever want something that shows a lot of promise to be so good, but it's so bad it lets you down? Damn. It seems so good on the surface. And 2/3 of the way through, the quality just completely fell on its face. The reveals I was waiting for happened suddenly and seemingly have very little fallout in the end. Yeah. And honestly, I'm knocking it down an extra 2 pegs just for repeatedly talking about Henny being fat and plain almost once per scene, even from her own best friend. Yeah, that was quite odd. Also, that whole, like, God, Crystal was fucking ugly as a kid. Like, Crystal was an ugly 4-year-old.
Bro, why are you bullying a dead child?
There was barely any Yuri for real. Yeah, to be honest, like, there was yearning, there was longing, but there wasn't enough. There wasn't enough. If you wanted to give me slow burn, it's just like, it was just very underdeveloped. It was very underdeveloped. But we did it. We committed. We completed it. Everybody who's a completionist, we completed. Write a review right now, not on stream. I think that's kind of mean. I think already just like the fact that we have. I'll write a review maybe, but I don't want to be like overly mean. But yeah, it is quite. It is quite. It is quite.
Indeed, it is quite.
Indeed, it's very quite. But yeah, that's a shame for today, guys. I will see you tomorrow. I will see if my nervous system allows me to play more Resident Evil 7. And that is what we'll be doing. A star for finishing it, finally. Thank you, Mini Mooney. I quite appreciate it. But yeah. Thank you to Doobie by Doobie. Hope Doobie's having great dinner. Thank you to Lush for enduring this with me and being my Yuri Lunch co-star. Oh, we got some applause. Yay. And we got a hydrate, redeem, and a stretch. All right, Lush, we got to stretch and get some more water.
I've been holding in my piss for so fucking long, bro, because I didn't want to miss anything.
All right, go piss.
No.
Why?
No. After stream.
Okay, well, we're wrapping up stream now, so let's find somebody we can raid. I'll just stream it, whatever, I don't give a fuck. Let's see. Thank you for the applause, I quite appreciate it. I wonder if Shamey's still alive. Shamey's having a stream anniversary. Oh, so much applause. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Oh, I'm so flattered. You're gonna make me blush. Oh, thank you. You wish you could hear the applause?
Yeah, I can't. No, bruh. I mean, like this. Whatever.
Is Shamey not live? Shamey. Where the fuck is Shamey? I swear Shamey's alive. Okay, let me just open this one and then see if Shamey's on the side. No. Shamey's not alive? Oh, that's so sad. That's so sad. Let's maybe see if there's anything similar. Not really anything similar, is there? And nobody I really am familiar with. Alright, I guess we don't raid out today, chat. Alright, well, thanks for hanging out, chat! Oh, thank you for all the applause. Thank you for all the bits. Thank you for the hype train. You guys have been very patient with us, and we appreciate it. And now you must go enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much. Bye, everybody. Bye.